How's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you all?
It's getting hot in here.
Damn hot.
Keep your clothes
What's
on.
happening?
Oh my goodness, it is warm, isn't it? It's
Lovely.
Many degrees. Many degrees. It's Friday. It's an Infinite Monkey Tales game. We are playing something that has never, ever been played anywhere before, because it's just been written, and we're going to continue writing it through this session with your help. I'm going to hand over to who's wanting to introduce this one? Is before we hand over to John, who wants to say a few words? Mark, would you be up for saying a few words about
Mark
what
has
this
to take
is
responsibility.
and how this came about?
A few words. I'd like to thank my mum and my dad, my wife Angela. She's been incredibly supportive during the development of this game. I'd like to thank Jonathan for writing it, and you guys also for being here, and Strain, Croy, Lloyd. I really want to thank you guys for playing this game with us.
Yeah, I told you, like,
How did this come about? What happened? How did it happen? What sparked it off? When did it appear?
Jonathan said, "I've written a game. Do you want to?"
It was literally just that.
Yeah. Okay.
I've written a game. I'm not too sure what I want to do with it. Do you fancy helping out?
I'm not being very helpful here, am I?
All right.
Yeah, it was. But actually, that's pretty much how it went. John said that he'd had this idea for a game, and he asked us if we would like to kind of play test it, and we kind of go through like this development process. He thought it might be quite cool on stream, and I said that sounds great. And yeah,
Here we are.
here we are.
Here we are. Here we are. So we don't have characters. We
Just
don't.
speak for yourself.
Oh, see, this is why I went to Mark. So now
Hold
he's
on,
getting lippy.
hold on.
Now he's getting lippy. Didn't want to tell us anything about the game, but hey, as long as we know he's got a character, we're all right.
Some of us haven't even read the document yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
Strain, I agree with that statement. I concur.
Jeez, what you been doing all?
To be fair, I wrote it. I've not even read it, so.
Excellent. I did read a very early version and did provide some feedback, but that was such a long time ago that I've done an
It was a
Angela.
while ago. Yeah.
I've done an Angela, and it's just.
There's a comment from Angie. Angie pops on the document. What's a D12?
I don't. Is the 12?
This,
no,
this
there's
is
no.
why I made the document non-shareable.
What's the name of a 12-sided solid?
Kevin.
I'm thinking it's not a dodecahedron, is it? That's a 20,
No.
right?
Not as much ow as a D4.
I've got this as a hangover on Twitch.
Dodecagon.
It's a dodecahedron.
Oh, I was right.
Dodecahedron.
Yeah. Dodeca. I'm gonna go with
I'm actually going to write that down,
It is
actually, so I don't forget.
dodecahedron, and
Dodec.
a D20 is an icosahedron.
Icosahedron.
Yeah.
Do you want to know any
Wow.
other ones while we're here? We did this before, and I've totally forgotten.
It's that.
It's the best
that's
part.
That's there.
Actually, that explains
I
that,
prefer
actually. Because Guardblab Games, as you all know, the other dudes, have actually Peter, who runs Guardblab Games, who was one of the runners of Guardblab Games, has developed a game, a D12 based game called
Dodeca.
Dodeca,
Yeah.
and it's very, very good. So I think they're actually doing.
title though, is it?
Sorry,
It's not a very original title, though, is it?
Dodeca. It sounds like he started writing it and thought, oh, I've run out of space. I'll just leave it at that. But no, I play tested it last year. It's very good. So I think it's just gone through its Kickstarter phase.
They've
So
been playing
yeah,
it. They've been playing
They've
it.
been playing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff. It's a sort of generic system. You can pretty much use it for everything. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that take off.
Why has the 12-sided dice suddenly become de rigueur then? What's
I have always loved it. It was when I opened up my very first D&D box set all those many years ago in 1984. One of the first dice that fell out, one of the actually colouring.
the wax crayon, yeah.
And it was a D12, and because I didn't know what dice were in the box, so I looked at what the hell is this? It's before I'd even seen a D20, and it's versatile. You can get a D2, a D4, a D6, and a D3, and a D12.
Well, there you
That's
go.
that's my D12 speech. I didn't write it down. It was kind of spur of the moment.
Excellent.
To be fair, I kind of sprung that question on.
Yeah, I was prepared.
We have the king of dice, the D12. I had no prior favoritism of any dice, so I've merely adopted the IMT standard. The D12 has become the IMT standard, so that's all right.
There we go.
We measure things.
It's just 2d6, isn't it? Effectively.
We measure things in D12.
Okay, you need to stop talking now, Mark, because it's not just 2d6. The bell curve's completely different. So just stop. All right? We're not having this discussion again. We're live. I don't want to have any domestic in front of all the viewers. So just leave it. Just leave it. Just leave it.
Could the mod please?
So 3d4 is okay.
00312 underscore, please. If any mod is around that could do that, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Sorry, interject there. Don't want any of that.
That's all right.
Yeah, so hello to Woodcat, hello to Angie Pops, Lloyd's in chat. We've almost got a hype train going, guys. Choo choo! All aboard the hype train. I should do something about that. To just thank you very much.
That's the best
Appreciate
reason.
that. A big smile. Minnie, how's it going? Bong, hello. Hey, Lloyd.
Look at that.
Just got us right over the edge there. Thank you. Look at that.
What do you mean over the edge? Isn't that only Isn't it only level 1? You've got 5 levels of a hype train, haven't you?
Only level 1.
Yeah.
That's
Steady on there.
I
Carry
specifically
on
want an
there.
emoji on level 2, so
It's a Friday. It's not a Saturday.
So, excellent. Hype train. Yeah.
You too.
Thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you. It is our anniversary as well. I think we did our first IMT stream on the 12th of September. I think that's right.
Much like the old rhyme. Remember. 12th of September.
September. Yeah. So we are almost 1 year old. How about that?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday for
Well,
Sunday.
12 months to go with your D12.
See, it's meant to be. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for the gifted
You
sub.
have not a
Think,
good D6 month.
Wow. Almost level 2. Right, I can join this party. Let's see. Can I join this party? No, I can't. Damn it. Can't do it from here.
No, we're not allowed to say that. Apparently, Stonebrick. It's 1d12 sold. I'm afraid we're not allowed to use the 2d6. Apparently,
No.
apparently it's banned.
so yeah, 62 might be okay.
See, I can actually feel my blood pressure going up,
Exactly.
and I haven't taken my pills today.
That's
haven't
it.
even
Mission,
Not a good
mission
thing.
accomplished. There.
That's what I have
We
to
haven't
say.
even rolled their characters and they're
I
already
want to tell you
dead.
that Red Bull and cocodamol don't mix, all right?
Awesome.
You say that. It's the
Yeah.
universal combo.
It's what I had at 4:30 this morning when I got up.
Excellent. Right. Hagen suggesting cocodamol and alcohol. I'm not sure that's great.
That's not a good combination.
That's not a combination.
I mean,
I was pushing
yeah.
it at Red Bull.
I'm not talking from personal experience or anything.
I was pushing it at Red Bull and cocodamol and water. So
Excellent. We a live blood pressure monitor on stream. We'll hook John up and we'll have his heart rate monitor.
And I just keep going.
Just bing bing.
2d6, John. 2d6,
you
Jonathan.
don't have to.
2d6.
What you'll see is this: as I start to vibrate, so does my camera. So you sort of stop it, and then just a little bit of froth sort of dribbling down there. And then he's all right. We think so, but well, he's got his doctor. So
Why are your eyes so red? That
he's bleeding out of his nose now. So yeah,
He's really got in for this cosplay. It's really quite effective.
I love it. His t-shirt was red. It was white earlier.
Okay, so now officially having got that far and killed a whole set of characters and a TPK already, shall we do something with this officially game starting thing? Let's hand over to John for the beginning of the game.
Right. So hello everybody, and thank you very much for joining us. Before we start, I just want to say, as we're playing this, feel free. I can't see the comments myself because I'm going to focus on the actual game. Feel free to make a comment about what you think about the rule, suggestions about rules, suggestions about anything, even the settings. I'm going to detail the setting that I've designed as well. I won't go into full detail. There's a lot to it, so I don't want to bore everybody just by sitting here and having a monologue for 2.5 hours. So feel free to do anything. If I missed it, don't worry about it. If we don't incorporate it on this stream, don't stress. What I will be doing is going back and re-watching this to see how things played out, and I'll be reading all the comments. So if you have made a comment about what you thought about a rule, whether it works, if you foresee that might be a bit of a problem actually, feel free to type that in. If you don't like something, feel free to type it in, no swears, and I will definitely sit down, I'll read through it all, and then I'll put together a new document, and at some time in the future, everybody's up for it, I'll either run another streamed playtest with adjustments, or we'll do something a bit more private and just where it goes from there. So you're part of the design process basically is what I'm saying, so get involved.
It's gotta be a first, right? It's gotta be a first. It's gotta be a first, having a game design.
I've not come across it before, so if anybody does know it, then let me know, because I'd love to see how other people handled it as well. Also, if you want to contact me privately, you know where I am on Twitter. I'll probably put some details here. Just DM me. Say, actually, what about this? I've had this idea for this. Just drop me a DM. Absolutely no problem whatsoever with that. Following up on the... but don't ask me for my credit card number, because I ain't going through all that again. So, yeah, all good. So let's crack on. So what I've designed is an entire science fantasy setting. It's set several millennia into the future. Haven't decided on an exact date yet. It's somewhere between Dune and Warhammer 40,000. So it's far off into the future, and there are hundreds of thousands of worlds populated, controlled by one being called the TheInfinaty, called the Infinite, I should say.
Yeah, don't let it go to his head.
I was about to say, almost. Yeah, I do apologise. So if you don't mind, I will read this short introduction which I've written. What I wrote. Excuse me, I'm not very unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. The Infinite has ruled the galaxy for 5,000 years. Nobody knows who or what the Infinite is. Nobody knows where the Infinite is. Nobody knows if the Infinite is even real. What they do know is that the Infinite rules the empires with a cruel grip that no uprising has ever been able to break. The Imperials that do the Infinite's bidding do so out of loyalty, as they are bound to the Infinite by blood and mind. The sovereigns serve out of both fear and a love of power, and the prefects fight over the scraps left to them by their betters. How does the Infinite maintain power? Because they are Genesis of the gifted, the blessed, the others, whatever those with the power of the mind are called. Huge, powerful psychics rule the empires, and their abilities are passed to their descendants so that dynasties can rule for generations, able to foresee uprisings, using their power to root out and destroy the rebels before the rebels themselves are able to organise. This creates a civilization of paranoia, fear and hatred. Their void ships of war travel from star to star, imposing imperial will and spreading the word of the Infinite, many of whom see as a far-off deity with the power to control their meagre lives. The warriors of the Infinite, the Sunburners, are raised from birth to be loyal and lethal, carrying out any order without question. They have, as their name suggests, burned suns into destruction. The master of all this is the Infinite, who passes their power by blood to the Imperials, emperors and empresses who control their empires with malice and cruelty. All worlds bow to the Imperials. All Imperials pay homage to the Infinite, and the Infinite controls all with their envoys and their elite Sunburners. All worlds must tithe to their Imperial, who in turn tithes to the Infinite. Nobody knows what the Infinite does with this tithe of resources and wealth. It vanishes into the void. Many of the sovereigns, controllers of star systems, have no such powers and constantly struggle with their people. Some are unimportant relatives of Imperials with little psychic ability, given a star system to rule to keep them occupied and quiet. The prefects control their individual planets in the name of the Imperial and under the shadow of the Infinite, and many of these people are cruel and vindictive, given a little power that they wield like petty gods. But something has happened. Some worlds feel it. They feel a shift in the stars. There are rumours that there are some being born with the power, outside of the Infinite's control, hidden from their sight, and are using it to aid rebels in their fight against the oppressors. there is a rumour that some sovereigns have been overthrown, and Imperials are mobilising their own war fleets in panicked response, even pleading for aid from Sunburners. Surely these are just rumours. The power of the infinite is all, but something has changed. Something is coming. Now, the idea of the game itself is you will be playing one of these people who are rising up against the Infinite and the Imperials. So it's your classic fight against the evil Galactic Empire sort of story, as we've seen many times before. As the game progresses, some people will find that they have powers and that they can actually use these powers of the mind, but when they use powers of the mind, they light up like a beacon, so that they can then any sovereigns with a little bit of power and the Imperials will focus on them straight away, making them a target and putting their group in danger. But they also shield that group, so they can do their machinations, go on their missions, but not be detected by prescience or any other power that the Imperials have, which gives the individual groups autonomy. Sort of enables them to carry out their missions without being worried about being noticed, unless that person with the power isn't there. Then that's when the problems start. Now, as far as rules for the powers are concerned, I haven't actually got that deep into it yet. I've come up with some ideas, and sort of a lot of it has fallen flat because it just feels like force powers at the end of the day, and it's a little bit dull. I'm trying to do something a little bit more different with it. So I'm going to leave those powers out of this for now. So what I'm going to ask you four lads to do is create 4 characters. So we'll get into the system proper. What I've done away with is ability scores, so there'll be no strength, dexterity, charisma, wisdom, that sort of thing. Sometimes I can find those a little bit limiting, and I also find sometimes as well you get those scores, you get bonuses from those depending on the system, and then they're pretty much forgotten about. And then it's the skills that are concentrated on. So basically every single character, I don't know if you can see this on the stream, on the roll thing, you've got a character sheets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of 12 skills, and these skills cover pretty much anything a character can do in this game. Each one of you will each skill automatically gets 1 point, so there's 1 point in every single one of those, and then you get some bonuses. You get to add 2 plus 2s, 2 plus 3s, and then 1 plus 4, a plus 5, and a plus 6. You add that to that score of 1. You can add those to individual skills. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that.
How many plus?
Now, the sort of characters that you'll be playing to begin this particular game are basically people living on a resource world. So your characters, all people in the Infinite's realms, are trained to do everything that makes them useful to the prefects, and then the sovereign, and then the empire. There's hundreds of empires which the Infinite controls. Because they're not worried about you using those skills against them, because they can use their powers if they know that you're going to rise against them, and they'll stop you anyway. So that the better you are, a good little capitalist, the better you are at providing for the empires, then they'll teach you everything that you need to know. So even the most backwater planets, which are just farmers, they've all been trained to fly starships and use computers and all sorts of stuff, because you never know, they might be snatched off the board and used for something else.
So could you repeat the rules for the character creation again? There was a...
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, you get 1 point in every single one. Yeah. And then you get bonuses to add to this score, so that you can be more adept at some things than others. Yeah. So you get 2 plus 2s, so you can add plus 2 to any one of those skills. Yeah, twice. You get 3 plus.
Is that including the one that's already there?
That's right, yeah. So
right,
you get 2 plus 2, so you're adding that to the 1. So if you took that plus 2 and you add it to your charisma, then that's your charisma score is now 3. Yeah, but you can only use that plus 2 on that one skill. You can't say use a plus 2 and then use a plus 3 on that same skill to get it up to 6. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the way the game's designed is that you can either choose your skills, or if you want to play a little, mix things up a bit, you can roll randomly for where you assign those scores. So, because on some worlds the abilities are assigned to people as they grow, and their role in society is decided for them by the prefect of that planet. On the less important worlds, like the one we're going to play on, population is allowed to go organically, so people can choose what their role in society is. It gives them an illusion of free will. So we'll all just put the whole music on whilst they're creating characters. Sounds like Girl from Incompetech.
We've had a suggestion already that you have to do the that intro again, but in the style of Sir Ian McKellen.
The style of Sir Ian McKellen.
If you wouldn't mind.
I can try. But well, I can try, but I won't. I have to find a voice actor. Read it all out.
Somebody like Sir Ian McKellen, you mean?
I'll give him a call. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about the court injunction. Sorry.
Yeah, and Angie's confused already. I can only say that it makes more sense when you actually do it than it is to perhaps.
Yeah.
With 40 points in total to distribute. And, like, I know you don't distribute them as 40 points, but in total, you should always have 40 points.
Yeah. To put between them. The reason why I put the limit caps on is because I didn't want people to get confused about how many points they can add to a single skill. Because when I first designed this and I handed it over to somebody else to have a look at, they got some skills up to 12. I thought, oh crap, we can't have that because that kind of ruins the curve of the game. Yeah. So I put these limitations in place. What I might do, like you say, it's 40 points. I might also introduce a point spend system, and then just say you can't have any skill higher than 7. Then people can spend as they please. Then, but like just for the purpose of this playtest, yeah, we'll go with my original idea.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, done.
So Mark, what have you been doing while we've all been slaving away here, calculating in our heads when you've already done it? Was it easy when you did it? Was it
no.
just? Does it add up?
Does it work? Is everybody all clued up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So, we'll get some names, some character names off you. Unless you've already put them on the screen there.
I'll let chat decide my character name.
Okay.
Oh.
We'll let chat decide all your names.
11 murders.
Yeah. Murders.
You know, it's always a mistake, you know, putting stuff like that out to the public.
Yeah.
As
Alright,
who are the guys that did Boaty McBoat? Who was?
That was the yeah. That was the scientific research.
And the Attenborough.
Yeah.
Oh, marshmallows in the coffee. Nice. Right, so let's just move on. So that's the character creation out of the way. It's designed to be quick and easy, so that you can. I mean, you know me. I like my rules light stuff. I want it to be quick and easy, but also enough so that it helps define a character. I might add more skills to this, or sub-skills, depending on how the game goes, so how the playtests go. I actually quite like having just 12 skills. It kind of suits the theme of the game. Now, you've also got something called risk. Now, I like health points, I like hit points, I like all that sort of stuff, but it never rings true to me. Like, you've been, I don't know, especially when you've got higher hit points, you've been hit 20 times and you're still not dead. Have you got 20 cuts all over your body? You've got, like, 15 bruises, 1 deep wound, and then 4 smaller cuts. You know what I mean? It doesn't make much sense to me. So what I'm doing is something called risk. Now, risk points are basically acts like your health points. And the more risk you lose, the more chance you have of taking straight damage to your strength, where things do get bad. But the way this game is designed is that your risk points can be shared between each other, because you're actually playing as a group, so it sort of helps, sort of bonds the group, sort of that companionship. So let's say that, I don't know, Mark, you've taken loads and loads of hits, your risk has now gone down to 6. If you take any more hits, it's going to be bad. And you do take a hit, and it's like, oh my god, this is going to wipe me out. And Croy dives in and said, don't worry, use my risk instead. So Croy, you're sort of throwing your way in the danger. You're taking away some of that risk. It's going to suffer you more. You're going to lose twice as much risk, but you will save Mark's life in the meantime. So it encourages the team to work together. It encourages you to share risk, and it sort of encourages you to sort of work as a team. And you know, at the end of the day, you're supposed to be a band of heroes, and heroes don't give up; they get up. So, and if your friends are there to help you, so like you just don't care. So if your friends are there to help you, then so much the better, and it sort of emboldens that comradeship, if that makes any sense. Now your risk points start at 15. Now if you want to, all those little bonuses that you had, you can take one of those bonuses, whether it's a +2 or a +3 or a +4, and add that to your starting risk. That means you lose that bonus. You can't spend that bonus on any skills, and then you can add that to your risk. If you decide not to do that, then your risk just starts at straightforward 15 points. So if you wanted to, if you had that +6 bonus, you could take that +6, not actually spend it, and instead add it to your risk, giving you 21 points of risk. Which means, yes, you're not wonderfully skilled at something, but there's less chance of you dying very early in the game. Not that you're going to die very early in the game. That'd be depressing. No, I wasn't foreshadowing anything that was going to happen in the game. So if anybody wants to do that, then go ahead and do that now. Now what happens is when risk reaches 0, any further damage that you take after that comes straight off your strength. For every point you lose in strength, it adds 1 to your difficulty number to roll, which I'll explain in a minute. Which means the more strength you lose, the weaker you get, which means it's going to be more difficult for you to do things physically and mentally. Which makes sense. Your strength reaches 0, dead on 0, then you will die in your strength score in rounds. So the higher your strength, the longer you'll last until somebody come and aid you. If it goes below 0, -1 or onwards, that's it. Sadly, you're dead, kaput, out of the picture, and that's it. That's the end of it. Okay, does that make sense?
Could you just please repeat the bit about the formation of your risk score?
Yep. Your risk score starts at 15. Everybody gets 15 risk. Right. That's how it starts, yeah? Now you can up that if you want to. Now one of those bonuses that you use to add to your skills, you can take one of those bonuses, whether it's a +2, +3 or +5, and add that to your risk. But you lose that bonus to put into your skill. That makes sense?
Yep.
Yep. So you can up your risk, you can get a much higher risk, but if you do use that bonus, you've lost that bonus. It makes you tougher. It means you can actually absorb more risk. You know, you can take more chances, but yeah, your skills are going to suffer a little bit. There is an experience system, so your skill can get higher, but that's a discussion for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now your risk points were restored at a rate of 2 points every in-game hour. Not real time, but in-game hour. So think of it like, you know, in Halo, when his bar resets, like the energy bar, it's a bit like that. So if you take a bit of a rest for an hour, you'll get a couple of points back. Because your body starts to calm down and your adrenaline wears off, and it kind of resets itself. So you don't have to take potions or, you know, what have you, not unless you're seriously injured. Your risk regenerates itself. So you can get into an encounter, have some major situations, survive it, and then for every 2 hours you rest, you get 2 points. You get every hour. Keep flicking between documents. For every hour you rest, you get 2 points back. Okay. And we can address. Now, risk can also be used to modify your rolls. So if you're about to make a roll and you're thinking this might be quite tough, I need a bonus to it. For every 1 point of risk you spend, you get a +1 to your roll. Oh yeah, if you're in a fight and you really need to hit that target, then you take your risk and you add it to your roll. But that has to be decided before the roll is made. So if you say I'm going to spend 3 risk, and then you say okay, +3 to your roll, you roll your dice, you still fail, you've still lost those 3 points of risk. So that's your choice to make. It's a bonus for you to help. And that's it for risk. Any questions? No. So skill roll is dead simple. and it involves the D12. That's a D12. So you decide what you want to do. You choose the applicable skill. Say, I don't know, close combat, combat personal. You roll a D12. You add the score that's in that skill, and you've got to beat 12 or more. For an easier task, it's 10. For a harder task, it's 14, and maybe more depending on the situation. Like I said as well, if you were hurt in any way, every point of strength that you lost increases your target score by 1. So if you've lost 3 points of strength, then your base target score of 12 has just gone up to 15. So it's gonna so when you get damaged, it's gonna make it more difficult to do things. But that's only for points that you've lost off your strength, not off your risk. Your risk isn't affected. The only thing risk does is go down, and it sort of gets you a bit closer to that moment where the chances are you are going to start taking some serious damage. Okay. Experience. That's something I'm going to ignore for now because that's not the focus of this playtest. Like I say, you can increase your characters, and basically you can go up levels. Unfortunately, for now I'm using a level system because it's just an easier way to control the points. And you get a +1 to any single skill, and you also get a +1 to risk. So the longer you're around, the more risk you get. So it basically just works like health points. I've also done rules for vehicles and starships, but again, that's not under the scope of this particular game at the moment. And that's it. So let's crack on. Is there any questions before we carry on?
I don't think so.
Not at the moment. We'll have questions as we go. I'll definitely have questions. Definitely.
Now, if I'm wittering on, which I'm well known for some reason, I can't imagine why, then just interrupt. If I'm chatting away and I don't hear you, just do that, because then I will take notice then, and I'll just stop talking. So
please interrupt him so he can take a breath every now and again. Yeah.
I was about to say, yeah. So we didn't that, John, because we thought we were going to pass out. It's fucking hypoxia again. So yeah, just let me know, and then we'll stop, ask the question or clarification, and then we'll move on from there. Okay. So I will come to your names in a moment, your character names, as the game goes. I don't know if chat has actually decided on character names yet.
They haven't come up with anything that's remotely usable. Come on, get in the spirit of the thing, guys.
Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah,
guys,
it's pick whatever you want, but we won't use.
It's a world of paranoia, fear, and hatred. It's the Infinite who are the masters, the Imperials who are the rulers of the planets, the Sunburners.
Fear, paranoia.
Fear. Come on, it's like a society that's lived for as long as anybody can remember.
Yeah.
The psychic abilities, potentially. There's war fleets roaming the galaxy, exerting the will of the Infinite through the various tithes that need to be paid, and yeah, it's
So basically, what we're saying is we're not looking for shitbeard twinkle toes. All right, we're looking for
or Croy McCroy of the Clan McCroy.
Croy McCroy face.
There we go. Asmond. I don't know. That's Cryomantis. There we go. We're starting to get somewhere now.
Come on.
Keep going, guys. Get Ruger Long.
Dr. Aaron Neuer.
Oh no.
I said get in the spirit of it, guys. Come on.
Hey, I didn't try to give you a Scottish
him.
name. Jeez.
I know it was.
Yeah. What are you playing at?
Cryomantis. I mean, you know, any other time.
Makes you sound like a Metal Gear Solid villain.
Stonebrick Studios, who's a creator of virtual reality games and a programmer, says that he thinks that the system sounds cool. Just for the description there, so.
Good.
He's less good at coming up with names of characters, though.
Yeah, don't worry about the system. We need names.
Heinlanden. Ooh. That's
it.
Dr. Heinland.
Yeah.
Heinlein maneuver.
The Heinlanden maneuver.
It's not so much a maneuver, it's more of a gesture.
There we go. Croydon.
Dead.
Yeah, you could be our android assistant.
Yeah. Your medical droid.
How does it go? Androids. Everybody
needs good
androids.
Androids have feelings too. It's not your Android. Sorry. So we're about getting to the spirit of the things, and there's a started pointing with what. I do apologise. 10 minutes, Monty Python. So,
Here
have
we
you all
go.
decided on names?
Bartian Scepter. Creation McLeod. There we go. Creation. I like it. That's a good play. Nice one, Jackal. Okay.
So what names do you want to go for then? So we'll start with you actually, Croy. What name do you want to go for?
Is it the one person that hasn't come up with one yet? We started with you.
Yeah. If you don't pick what's available in chat, Angie gets to name your character.
There you go.
To take whatever she comes up.
I've picked Creation McLeod.
Creation. I'm just going to spell that as it sounds.
Yeah, it's pronounced con.
I see. I heard the first part of that word and I started to panic a little bit.
I'm going to change it so it is actually Creation. There we go.
Lloyd.
I got Eldon Shaw.
Eldon. Nice. Mark.
I'm going with Alexander Zico.
Alexander. And Strain.
I'm going for Aaron Ryder.
Aaron Ryder. Nice one. Brilliant. Okay, good start. Thank you, chat. So, okay, so let's start the game. Very simple beginning, and we're just going to get straight into the action. So let me tell you about Perilous. Perilous is as you can probably see from the background of these, which has been wonderfully set up, thank you very much. Perilous is a small world in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It's very small, very insignificant. And basically they are the futuristic, several thousand years in the future version of charcoal burners. And the trees on this world, they'll burn them down, and their charcoal is actually burned for a long time. It's actually a bit of a delicacy. People put it into their fake fires. The rich people use it, and it's used for lots of different purposes. So basically, you reduced all the forests. What am I talking about? You basically reduced all the forests around you to nothing, and the resource has actually become really, really scarce. Now, every year, the prefect turns up on behalf of the Imperial on this ship. Void ship sits in orbit, and you can see it because void ships are like 4 or 5 miles long, absolutely massive. I'll tell you more about void ships in a bit. But the void ship will sit up there, and then the smaller vessels will come down to pick up the tithe. You basically are giving what you owe to the prefect. The prefect then takes it to the sovereign. The sovereign says that's fine, and then it's presented to the void ship, and then it's taken off to the next world. And usually a void ship will turn up every few months. But this time of year, it is the tithe. You have to produce not what you've promised, but what you've been told to produce to taken away. Which is this charcoal. It's like this is burnt wood basically that you're supplying. Why you're supplying it, you have absolutely no idea. It doesn't matter to you. The fact is you get paid for it. You've all got nice, comfortable lives. Over the last couple of years, it has got a little bit nasty because the atmosphere has become a little bit dustier. The growth rate of the trees coming back has really reduced. And there's been some sort of gravitic problems as well. You've got 2 moons, and when the one smaller, well, it's more like an asteroid, actually orbits the moon, and then that moon orbits you. And sometimes when it's set up, there's a certain what do you call it? When they're all sort of lined up, it creates all kinds of weather problems and even tectonic plate problems for the planet as well. You've had a couple of issues over those for the last couple of years. It's not nice, it's not great, and this year's harvest has been absolutely horrendous. Last year you missed your target. This year is probably barely half of getting what you need, which is a real shame. So everybody's basically turned out to this day because it's supposed to be a, oh my lord, cat's tail. It's supposed to be. I started to panic then. I thought Mark had exploded. So it's supposed to be a celebration. You know, the ship's turned up, the prefect comes down and hands everything over. But there's a bit of a mood in the air, and Mayor Zanuck, who runs the only city, or the only town on this planet, is a little bit nervous. Now, where this takes place, there's a huge plain, and where this takes place, there's a massive statue of what some people think is the Infinite, but it's not. Although people still refer to it as the Infinite statue. And this statue is as tall as a skyscraper. It is absolutely huge. It dominates the entire landscape. No matter where you go when you're doing your work, if you look, turn around and look, you can see it above the hills. It dominates. So it's like the Infinite is looking everywhere. And like I say, it's probably about the height of the Empire State Building. It's absolutely huge, dominates the landscape, and it's holding on to like a brazier. It's huge, the size of a football field. This brazier thing, well, half the size of a football field. Has probably been a bit over dramatic there, but it's absolutely huge, and it's constantly burning. There's like a feed to it, so it's always glowing as well. There's always a long trail of thick, inky black smoke heading up into the sky, and this is where people gather. And because behind there, on a raised platform, the prefect's ship will land, and then he'll say, "Oh, I'll have the tithe now, please," and then the tithe is handed over. Now, you four, your jobs are basically you're kind of jack of all trades at the moment. You'll go out and do some burning, you'll do some tree felling, you do some repairs. You've been trained in lots of different things to keep the whole place running. Like I say, recently you've been standing around a lot, twiddling your thumbs and getting a little bit nervous. And then people are there, and you've got people there who are there to represent the Infinite. So they've got the long robes on, they've all got their hands clasped, and they're always rocking backwards and forwards. They're pretending to be in communication with the Infinite. From what you understand, the Infinite doesn't talk to lowly people, only talks to his emperors and empresses using his mind. But if that's to be believed, so it's obviously an affectation, and a load of people are starting to. They also tend to use their powers to heal people, both physically and mentally, and that's obviously a load of crap as well. So there's a whole load of hokum going around, and a lot of people are getting a little bit frustrated with it. And these guys control everything. These guys basically, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that in the privacy of your own home because the Infinite's watching. It's that kind of thing. Really, really annoying when you want to go to the toilet. So, yeah, everybody's there, and they're trying to set up this gala, make things pretty and banners, but the feeling is really half-hearted. It really is half-hearted. So it's basically the fire festival of the future. So everybody's kind of just standing around and wondering what the hell's going on. And then there's a crack of there's a double sonic boom, and then down comes the prefect ship. The prefect ship is huge, probably about 100 meters long. Stands on long, it's like a beetle, almost like a woodlouse, with all sorts of bulbous canopies going over the top of it, with massive tubular engines at the back. And as it comes down, kicking up lots of dust, this landing pad hasn't been used for a year, and the jets sort of come down, huge landing claws come out, it slowly settles down, and there's a huge horrible whining creak as the engines wind down. And then the ramp comes down, people start moving forward, and they're chucking what looks like leaves and rose petals, anything that's shiny and anything colourful that they can find. They're chucking them on the stairs in front of him, and people sort of gather around as if they're pleased to see him. The ramp of the ship comes down from underneath, and then the prefect walks down. Prefect Horrifian is his name. Very, very tall man, very long robes, long, big, tall collar, which comes all the way around to his nose. And yeah, extremely, extremely tall. He's got his hands in his sleeves, like wizard robes, and he comes walking down, almost like he's floating down the ramp. And he's flanked by the prefect guard, who are basically just armed troopers. Look a little bit, for the sake of description, they look a little bit like Imperial Guard from 140k, so they've got sort of visors, and there's all lights, sort of silent lights on the visors, as they're constantly scanning people. And they walk around with rifles, and they come walking down. But then behind him, you see something which is you've heard of but never actually seen. But now that you've seen it, it's obvious what it is. It's a sunburner. They're quite tall, probably about 6 foot, 6.5 feet. They're dressed in armour. He's carrying a void gun, which is basically just shoots a particle of negative matter and dissolves anything that it hits, or at least it tries to. Extremely dangerous. This is one of the elite guard. He's got this kind of like a bowl helmet, like Mysterio. So it's kind of like a helmet bowl. It's full of like a cloudy ink. So there's like there's like somebody's poured oil on water. And it's constantly swirling. And as it's coming down, it's green, and it sort of shifts different colours. It's really, really strange to come down. It's really, really off-putting. But he looks powerful. He looks like he means business. And he's standing behind the prefect just by a little bit. Now, as far as you were concerned, Sunburn is the elite guard of the Infinite, and they're more important than anything. But no, he's standing behind the prefect as he walks down. He stands there and opens up his arms wide. Everybody starts cheering. Do you start cheering along with everybody else?
Hey,
Bravo.
Just mime along, like do the motions but not make any noise.
Yeah.
Just minimum effort.
Yeah, people are really trying hard. and he sort of lowers his arms. There's an expectant hush across the crowd, and the mayor walks forward. "Your tithe," says Horrifian. The mayor looks up, looks a little bit nervous. 42, which is less than half of what he's supposed to supply. "And for the second year you have not met your tithe. For the second year you have failed your prefect, disappointed your sovereign, offended your emperor, and upset the infinite. This cannot do." He sort of looks like he's about to turn and walk away. The mayor drops to his knees. It's almost embarrassing. He drops to his knees with his hands. "Please forgive us. We have tried, my lord. We have tried." And he turns around and sort of looks down. He sees this little gleam in his eyes, as if he's quite happy that this man's on his knees, like he's embarrassing himself for his benefit. And he sort of looks. "Well, there is one thing we can do if you wish to regain the honour of your city and of your trade. We shall do a run." There's a bit of confusion. Everybody's sort of looking at each other. "A run. I will choose 4 of you using your census, and you will be given 20 minutes. And then the Sunburner will come for you. If you defeat him, and your town, your city is saved. If not, the consequences will be dire. And those names are..." This is a button. It starts scrolling through randomly. Go on, have a guess.
Oh no,
Rachel.
not Biff from account.
Eldon.
It's the
Alexander.
not Hunger Games. Honest.
Aaron.
I volunteer as tribute. I mean, whatever. Fight it, run.
Step forward.
I am the town's medic. I don't do combat. I heal people. I
Well,
can't
you've
be
been
part
alone,
of
quick
this.
old man.
Come on, old man. We can do this.
Sunburner steps forward. You see the inky sort of the cloud sort of starts swirling in there, and it starts to turn sort of a dark purple. Then it starts to turn red, and he sort of his rifle is on his back, magnetically attached. He sort of puts his hand up. There's like a horrible humming noise, and the gun sort of shoots up into his hand, and then he drops it down to his arms and takes a step forward, and he sort of slowly crouches as if he's getting into a running position. Horrifion sort of looks at you
I
for.
gotta get me one of those.
Your time has started.
Run!
Are we running then?
Oh yes.
Which way you?
We are running 4 different directions.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in a different direction to the old man.
Take the old man.
Well, you've got 3 choices. You can run back into the town, which is it's quite small. There's only a few thousand people that live there. It's quite wide open as well. Not many places to hide. You can run to the mountains to the north, which, well, I say they're mountains. They're not as high as the statue. Nothing is allowed to be as high as the infinite. So you can run towards the mountains. There's the hills to the west, or there's the river to the east.
Is there a ship with a door open nearby?
There is behind the Sunburner and the.
And do we know how many people are normally on this ship?
I don't fancy
No,
your
you've
chances, to be honest.
been trained on starships, but this particular ship, you probably can fly. All the starships are designed to be flown quite easily. They've all got a very similar control system, but you've never been on a vessel like this before. You're not allowed.
You've heard what's going to happen if we fail. Everyone in this town will be dead. People, rise now.
Let's get
Swarm
moving on.
them.
I'm off to the river.
We should go for the wait before you run off. We should go to the mountains because we can hopefully let gravity do the work for us.
Sorry, Coy, is that what you're shouting to people? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to rabble the. I know these guys don't mess about. I know they mean that we're dead, basically. So I'm going to try and raise the town to join us and kind of just swarm this guy and beat him to death with sheer bloody numbers.
You got to remember, these people have been brought up to the infinite is old, so a lot of probably 90% of these people are going to be pretty much indoctrinated into the way into this whole thing. But you can try.
I'm a learned man, and I understand. I think
it's going to be difficult. So I'm going to set your target at 14.
Ouch.
And so what you're doing is rolling a d12 and adding your charisma score.
What could go wrong?
So are we gonna rush this guy and try and take his weapon? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not. We're going to get the rest of the town to do that.
Can I use some of risk? Can I boost myself with a bit of risk on this one? Is that something I could do?
Yep, sure. Let me just double check on that. Use a modifier with a ratio of 1 point. Yes, that's right. You can use as many points of risk as you want.
I'll use all of them.
You just don't get shot afterward.
Yeah.
I'll use 4 points of risk. I'll add that to my 5 points of charisma.
Yeah.
And then I'll make a D12 roll.
Make a D12 roll.
Shit. Okay.
If you click on the show total bit, it will actually show the roll. There you go.
Okay. Here goes. Damn it. That's 12 I got.
Right.
Not enough.
You start shouting these things. People, they don't do shit. So they're basically looking at you and they look terrified that they've kind of been implicated in an uprising. You know what I mean? As if this has been planned. And they literally stop moving away from you. Prefect kind of just looks down. He sees his head cocks slightly and his eyebrow goes up, sort of Mr. Spock style.
Do we have anything on us? Any gear or weapons or anything like that?
No. When people come to these gatherings, they just put their finest on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Weapons aren't allowed anywhere on any world anywhere.
Right.
People still use knives and swords.
And these prefects, are they armed? Are they strong? Are they psychics? Are they?
No, the prefects aren't armed. Oh, well, this particular prefect's not armed. He's the soldiers around him are armed, of course, and the Sunburner. They've all got rifles, just normal projectile rifles. He doesn't appear to be armed. He's not.
Okay.
No prefect is psychic. He's a psychic.
And there's only one Sunburner here. There's only one.
Just one Sunburner
guard here.
Yeah.
That we can see.
Okay, it's either run, guys, or we grab the prefect and try and hold him as hostage.
The prefect is on this dais above you.
Right.
You will have to run up to grab him.
All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. We're heading into run into town then. I think is the thing. Let's just run.
Well, I'm figuring safety in numbers. I'm looking through the crowd to see where everybody, the other guys that are supposed to be running. I'm assuming. They can see the crowd's parting.
They're all probably going back to the city.
It looks like everybody's going in a different direction.
Head to town. Let's head to town. We can get into town.
Do we know each other?
Yeah, well, they say you know each other just for simplicity's sake. Yeah. So, you all met in a tavern. So yeah, but we've gone through that. You all know each other.
Which of these guys is best at fighting? That's.
There we go. Who's got high combat, personal or combat range skill?
I'm a pilot.
I have a +3 in ranged combat.
Okay.
But I'm relying on my agility and strength to hopefully hop through the mountains and hope that he falls down a crevasse.
Not one of us has actually got a decent combat score at all. Then we are.
Yeah, that's why I'm proposing not fighting him and doing somewhere where nature will do the work for him.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't want a long game anyway, so.
That's cool.
To the mountain.
You got your wish.
Croy's still going to die first. That's okay.
Yeah.
So the Nightman.
I'm going to head for the mountains too. I will follow.
All right, we'll head to the mountains then. Let's head to the mountains. Let's go as a group.
Alden.
Yep.
Come on, old man.
Group,
Dr. McLeod, we'd best make a move. I don't like the way he's looking at you.
Who's advisor?
Yes, I'll drop by my surgery and grab my things. It's just there.
I don't think we have time for that, Doctor. I think we'd better just move.
I've got
Alden's heading for the mountains. I think we should follow him.
I'm running.
You've got a 20-minute head start. Croy, if you do want to go back for your belongings, that's going to knock 5 minutes off your start time. Because you've got to get back to your house, let yourself in, feed the cat, etc., etc. So, no, it will knock 5 minutes off. You'd only have a 15 minutes head start. It's up to you guys if you want to wait for him.
I'll meet you in the mountains. I must have my.
My Zimmer frame.
I know he's going to go after first.
Yeah. And so yeah, I go along with them. I'm reasonably agile, so I can keep up with them. And I see where my place is, and I just peel off at one point to grab some things from the surgery or whatever it is.
I'll tell you what to do then. If everybody makes an agility roll, everybody roll a d12 and add your agility score. Have I got that right? It is agility, isn't it? Yes, it is. Add an agility score, and basically, Croy, if you roll higher than everybody else, you've managed to catch them up, and you've caught up with them. Yeah, is that fair?
Yeah.
Oh.
I rolled a 12, and I have a +6.
Oh, yeah, he's got a 15. I got a 4.
No, I actually got an 18.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Yeah,
bloody hell.
because that thing there, I don't know what that is, but I rolled a 12 on that side to start with, and I don't know what's going on with this new dice roller. I'm totally confused. I didn't
Yeah.
clear
You
it
have
first.
to, basically,
so-
you have to uncheck the skills. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you click clear, it clears everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Got
Oh,
it.
did we make it clear to the viewers that we're actually using a new table at the moment?
We
Roll
didn't.
Table. No.
It has been
I mentioned
discussed
it in chat when Mianova asked.
It's also
We're
in the
using a new
description.
roll table, really.
It's
Yeah.
also in the description of the stream as well.
Wait.
Yeah.
So,
And we're
I
missing a
think-
bit that I actually added in to seems to have disappeared, which was a load of modifiers that we could have used at the bottom. But hey,
Doesn't matter.
fix it in post.
This is a first for everybody. So you did beat everybody then, Croy, yeah?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, you actually run past them and make it to the mountains before them. So you're obviously lying about your benefits there, you all get. So yeah, you basically you run up, you catch up with them, and then you sort of hit the base of the mountains. And these mountains, I keep calling them mountains, but they're not. They're just very, very craggy hills. You sort of get into the base of them, and then in a long way away, you hear this, like almost like a horn, like a whistle, and that's obviously the sunburn has been told. Now, the way the sunburners work is the fact that they're not modified in any way, but they are extremely well trained, and their suits are called. Basically, everything that's elite in this entire setting is preceded by the word void. So you've got void ships, void guns, he's wearing void armor, and you also hear as well they've got these, Ulysses 31, the wrist shield. They've got one of those as well. So he can shoot the rifle one-handed. So if you can see right now, he's literally just leapt over the crowd and he's running the same bolt style through the streets heading in your direction as you're heading up into the mountains. So what do you want to do? Do you want to stay low in the mountains and sort of stay, or do you want to actually start climbing up maybe? Or do you have something else in mind that you want to do here? You're in a pass at the moment, and you got shell mountains and rocky sort of. You can climb them, but it is difficult.
I haven't climbed these
Gotta
hills
have it
since I was
like
a
a
boy.
Sorry, I missed that. Sorry, Mark. What did you say?
I just saying I haven't climbed these hills since I was a boy.
Are you going to
Does
die as a
anybody-
man? Convenient.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to die at the bottom of these hills. That.
One way or another.
I suggest we hide maybe and then ambush this Sunrider. We can try and take the weapon off him. All together we can take him.
You're suggesting we engage him in open combat? Are you mad?
Well, if we just continue running, then we're just going to die. Unless you have a ship out here or a vehicle of some description we can escape in, we have to either fight or we have to die. I'd rather die fighting than die like a rabbit being chased.
Morbid and stuff. Could I have a look out for some kind of mountain path on you to help us get up above this canyon to see if we could push something heavy down on it?
Well, let's say this area. You guys grew up around here, so it's not a problem. Yeah, to the right, there's a mountain pass which heads up to the top, and there's like a rock sort of stone bench which has been built up there, which has been used kind of like a lover's parrot, sort of like a lover's view sort of place where all the kids go up to sort of canoodle around. Is canoodle even a word? So yeah, that's up to the top there. Yeah, and then to the left, there are caves. There's not a huge network of caves, and they're quite shallow in some places, especially in the winter when they fill up with snow water. But there's caves there to the left, so you can even go straight on deep into the mountains, or you can take the pass to the right up to the top of where the table is, or there's caves to the left.
Because if we go up, we can at least, there's stuff there we can throw down at them, and hopefully with a bit of gravity, they'll do a fair chunk of damage. If we can get just a hit on his head, that might be enough.
Any sort of fight is a good fight. Let's go.
Otherwise, we have to get. Yeah. Otherwise, we should just try and lose him in the cave.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. Good.
Good. Right. You go up the mountain pass. You go running up there. I need everybody to make rolls. I don't even know my own game. Just give me a second. Blah 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 blah. Strength rolls, please. Yeah, It's basically a D12 plus your strength score, and the basic target number is 12.
Strength.
I see how this works now.
Yep.
Okay.
I got me a 13.
Gotcha. So Mark and Croy, you're basically belting up that, but Lloyd and Strain are sort of falling behind a little bit as they're kind of heading along. Now I need to make a roll. Just give me a second.
I say they're not keeping up. If we're going to get to this before this beast, we must hurry. We must
Yes,
hurry.
but if we fall down and die on the way up, it's kind of irrelevant.
Yep.
The other thing, Dr. McLeod, is that he may reach them first.
I admire your survival instincts, my lad.
Right, can you see what I just rolled then? 18, yeah?
Yep.
Yep. Gotcha. Cool. So that was just a test. I actually just clicked to the wrong thing. So as you are belting it up, 14, and that shot was at. I'm going to roll randomly to who that was. Oh, from top to bottom. How do you turn the buff off?
Just click clear on the dice roller.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that'll clear everything.
And the shot is going at Croy. You're running up ahead, making a pretty good space, and then there's a shot. Basically, it looks like a warning shot, like he's toying with you almost. You hear the thud. It sounds like a lot of pressurized gas all been left off all at once, very, very quickly. And then you feel the shimmer in the air. It's kind of like a static charge in the air, and next to you, the ground just explodes into sparks and a shower of earth. And it's almost like parts of it is dissolving in the air as it explodes. Like I said, this is negative energy just wiping out whatever's in the way. Yeah, and in the background, in the darkness, you see the faint glow of the helmet of the sunburner. He's shooting and running as he's heading towards you, still coming at a hefty speed.
He's not messing about. He's close enough to get us in range. I think we must hurry.
What's the terrain like? I mean, are there trees or anything? Or
there's lots of trees. Like I say, a lot of them are quite thick but burned. This entire area has just been, the resource has just been completely stripped. So it looks like a burnt forest where you are at the moment. Everything's stripped down. It honestly looks like a wildfire's been through here. Everything's black and burnt and very charcoaly, hence the name of I don't know what I'm talking about now. So yeah, so there's a lot of cover, trees and tree stumps, and there's lots of rocks. And where you are at the moment, I mean, Lloyd was running up towards the table. He's just turned a corner out of sight now. In fact, by the looks of it, the sunburn was taking a shot at him before he disappeared out of sight. But like I say, by the looks of it, it was a warning shot. There's plenty of places where you can hide if you have to.
Or it just missed.
We need to find some cover. We're sitting ducks out here on this hillside.
What's a duck?
Quack.
Sorry. Yep.
It's an Esqualian do town.
We're one of those on this hillside. We're sitting one of those.
We're sitting small animal.
There's some cave just there. Look.
Get to the caves, you'll have to go back down into the valley.
Oh.
To the pass. Yeah, you have the choice of the caves or the pass, or the mountain pass heading up to the table.
There's a mountain pass up there. Look.
I remembered. So yeah, what do you want? What is it you want to do as he gets closer?
Can we loose any stones, or is there any rocks that we could perhaps roll down the side of the hill to?
Oh, there's plenty of burnt rocks. They're not big. Probably the largest one's probably about the size of a person's torso.
You
can roll those down if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean,
enough,
everything
yeah.
even smaller, like hand-sized, would be probably deadly enough at this.
I mean,
Yeah.
when these trees are burnt, some of their branches literally solidify, and some of it's almost like obsidian. So so you can pick up. You'll probably cut your hands unless you want to wrap something around your hand. But yeah, that makes a pretty good weapon. That would make a pretty good weapon.
You got some bandages.
Yeah, I'll tear a piece off my shirt and find a piece of obsidian, wrap it, and as a knife, as a weapon.
Yeah, I go into my backpack and quickly, as we're running up, I try and like unzip it and pull out a bandage and wrap up, backpack back on.
Everybody doing the same?
I can chuck bandages to people if they want them.
Yep.
Yeah. Arm up.
Yeah.
This is happening as you turn the corner, and as you get the corner, you got the back side of this mountain / hill, and you see the table at the top where obviously people, like I say, there's all flowers and what passes for flowers, and old cups that people have just left there because they spent a bit of time up there. There's plenty of trees surrounding it, so there's plenty of places to hide. We're out of sight of the sunburner at the moment.
Pick these up and just I'll lob one over the edge and watch as it kind of rolls
Sorry,
down.
Pick
Pick up one of those obsidian rocks.
Yep.
When we get round that bit, we gain some height on the way up, on the ramp up. And I just kind of see what it does. Just kind of roll it down the side of the hill and.
Yeah, it sort of it gathers a bit of momentum. It hits a bit of what is basically shale, and it creates a little bit of a shallow, not an avalanche, but it knocks a few more stones down. You got that like a quarry in Doctor Who, as it sort of just falls down into the distance. It's a new game, so it's cheap sets. Sorry. So
We try to shift the bench towards the end.
the bench is made out of stone, but yeah, you might be able to shift it.
Well, 4 of us working together may be able to move it.
Our friendship.
Makes the dream work. So if you're all going to work together on something, basically what you do is one person makes the strength roll, plus D12 plus strength, and then you get a +1 to the roll for every one person who's helping.
Who's got the highest strength? I've got 3.
Mine's +7.
Okay.
Oh,
We're helping you.
it's you then.
Yeah. A D12 +7, and then plus another 3, so it's D12 plus 10 basically.
What you can do, Lloyd, is you can click on any of the +1 3 times if you like. Any of the +1s, it will add that onto the roll.
There we got a 14.
Yeah, you tip the table. Where were you pushing the table to? Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't have time
Just like to the edge over where we're expecting the guy to come from.
And sort of just tip the table over, yeah.
If we can get a look beforehand of just seeing if he's coming up,
Drop it on
like him. At least, at least in a direction that'll try and clip him at least on the way.
So you're going to push it over at him, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Gotcha. As you look over, he's coming up the hill. His rifle's kind of at the ready, kind of Gravy Seal style. As he's literally just running up the side, and he's all ready to go. And that's when he tossed the table over. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a ranged skill roll, combat ranged, for you to get this on target. So you want a D12 plus your combat ranged. Now, what I would have done is increase your difficulty to hit because you are tossing a stone table aim, but you do have 3 people helping. So if you can make a roll, and the difficulty, let me just make sure I've got my rules correct. Give me a second. To hit, you at normal range. The highest goes first. Reroll ties.
What's the long range for a Ben?
At the long range for a stone table, about 2 feet. Initiative. Sorry, range. Okay, the target number depends on range, and the target number +1. It's just low lights. Okay, so I haven't taken any of that into account. So yeah, you're just basically making a straightforward combat roll, which is D12 plus your combat ranged, and the target is 12.
Ooh, 18.
18, brilliant. You toss this table over the side, it goes crashing down and goes crashing straight down into this guy. I haven't worked out any rules yet for these kind of things, so I hate to say it. Can you roll 2d6, please?
The king of dice.
Don't say anything. Oh yeah. So yeah, roll 2d6, please.
8.
8. Okay, so the table goes crashing down onto him. Now he's wearing armor, which is void armor, and it's ultra heavy. So he gets to soak d6 points of that, which I'm going to roll now. And he soaks 5 points of that. So what did you roll altogether? Sorry.
8.
8. So yeah, so he takes 3 points of. Well, he loses 3 points of his risk. Not listen down to that. Yeah, he goes smacking it. It's obviously hurt him, and he's obviously not very happy. He swings around and with the void gun just blasts at the table as he carries on down the hill. That just explodes into shards and what have you, and then he spins round to see where it came from.
At least you can hit something when you put your mind to it.
He spins around. It also snaps on his arm shield as well. It literally, like I say, it's basically Ulysses 31. So they are the actual. It's a shimmering. You know the shields in David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah.
The body shields in that. It's basically that kind of effect, except it's a circular, it's a circular shield. He sort of holds that up. He's also got the rifle in this hand, in one arm, and a blade snaps out from underneath, and he starts literally coming up the hill. Very, 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 very wary of anything else. Anyone want to do anything?
I fire my screw gun at him.
His screw gun.
I don't know.
It looks like one of the armor plates was coming off. Might do and put it back in.
Did we start a landslip anywhere? Is there any obvious space along the side of the hill that we could loose the screen?
The table went down and it smashed a few bits and bobs off, but didn't start anything.
Yeah, okay.
So no, this is not an option, unfortunately.
Quick to the next tourist spot.
Let's
We
go!
need another table.
To the gift shop. Get as many pens as you can get. So we need more fridge magnets. Chuck fridge magnet at him. Woo! So can't move. Too many wish you were here. So no, he's still coming up the hill. You guys are at the top.
Keep moving.
Yep, you're gonna keep
We got
moving.
the little ebony.
Should we head for the trees?
Yeah, they'll probably at least slow him down in that stupid.
That's what we're going to head for, the burnt up forest.
The trees are getting thicker the further you go into the mountains. Into the big hills. Okay, so let's stop just for a second, and let's go back and have a look at what we've just done. The rolling of the D12 plus the bonuses. Well, how did you think? And I'm asking chat as well. So, what do you think of that particular dice mechanic? I mean, it's old hat. Everybody uses target numbers. I grew up with target numbers. I was originally going to do a roll below your score. So, if you had a strength of 7, you had to roll 7 or less. But then I kind of like that high roll sort of aspect to it.
Yeah, so, a lot of people have a psychological issue, I think, with rolling low. I don't know why that is, but apparently it's the thing.
Yeah. I kind of understand it on D100s and on D20s.
Yeah.
Because you've got that higher level of, a higher range of numbers. But on like a D12, I designed a game a long time ago called Spirit, and it was a roll less than, and really couldn't grok it. I couldn't grok it, and I bloody wrote it. So I kind of like the target number because also you can adjust that because of difficulty. So at the moment your basic roll is 12, and then like I say, easier is 10, harder is 14, and then there's a lot of room to mess about there depending on the situation that you're in.
It's fairly intuitive, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. Those kind of things.
I think the fear of the low numbers thing is always generally, because in most games, if you roll low, it just means nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because most people will be used to having to roll it to hit a target number or above. I think it works. It's easy for people to figure out. It's intuitive. I don't know what chat thinks. I know. Yeah, they're not from the Thaco chat.
Yep.
Not enough math. Not enough math.
There's not enough math. I'm so sorry. Okay, roll a D28. Well, I'm so sorry.
A D28.5.
Yeah, why are we rolling D12s when we could be rolling D20 minus 1D8? What's the...
I don't know what I'm playing at, to be honest with you. I think that's a flaw in my game design philosophy.
If we were playing this around the table and we were lobbing dice around rather than using virtual rollers, we would have to be doing a little bit of math, which, and I'm only saying that because I know that some of our IMT group sometimes get slightly frustrated about having to use counting in more than 2 digits. I just wonder...
Are we talking about anybody in particular here?
a non-specific person.
Is she not here today?
I think saying she was a bit telling.
No. Somebody else did. Could be anyone.
I mean, yeah, no, but she just takes it on the chin, you know.
Somebody. I can hear somebody shouting.
Really? You sure about that?
Is it abusive shouting?
There's a voice.
If we're having
nearby.
If we're having to
just
add
what time it is.
things like a D12 plus the 5 plus the... There's only ever 2 things we have to add together, right? There's only occasionally that there could be 3 if you use some.
That's right.
Yeah.
So like I say, the only time that happens is if you're using risk. Yeah. So, but other than that, all you need to remember is the target number and the skill that you're actually using to actually make the roll.
Yeah. That's not too bad. But you'd have a sheet with that in front of you, so you just add it on as you go if you were playing in person.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I mean, I've known more difficult.
I didn't want to make it convoluted because I think sometimes game systems can be complicated for the sake of complication. Because they're either trying to do this simulationist stuff where they're really trying to take everything into. And I also don't care about bell curve or balance either in games. All I care about is your
that D12.
Yeah. All I care about is D12. Yeah, screw everything else. Yeah. So all I care about is the emotional reaction to the rolls. If it creates an emotional reaction, then that is, for me, is what makes. If you're just going by the numbers and then working stuff out in your head, that basically rips you out. I've explained this before. That rips you out at the moment. If you think, okay, we're in this situation and we need to know what's happening, quick, make a roll. There's the number, done, and then you carry on. It's the emotional reaction that I'm going for, not the the probabilities and the chances, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think it works. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if both sides are rolling with the same mechanics, then you don't have to worry too much about balance.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going for as well in this game is the heroics. You are playing heroes at the end of the day.
Shit! I didn't realize.
Oh yeah,
did you not read the document?
I didn't read that bit.
Of course, there'll be scope for different kinds of games depending on what people want to actually use the system for. Just for the purposes of the initial game, it's all about rising up against the evil Galactic Empire. Like I say, I think when I actually, when I actually write the game, I'll probably write it this way as an introduction scenario, and as the scenario unfolds, then I introduce the rules as the scenario unfolds. So you're basically telling a story, which then gets you in the mood for the setting as it's unfolding, and then you learn the rules as almost like the entire rulebook itself starts out as a quick start. So it's basically explaining the rules to you as you're playing the scenario. Because let's face it, I've explained the rules, you've created characters, and we've got quite far into a game in an hour actually. We didn't start the game probably till 9:20. So that's not so bad.
No, and the mechanics are fairly straightforward. It's fairly easy to grok.
It's very simple to pick up.
Yeah.
Again,
they just reinforce the iteration, repetition.
Yeah. Again, it's also, these are early days. This is the early part. There might be mechanics or elements that we might want to add to the game. Maybe chat has come up with some ideas of their own of how the game system could be.
There's been a couple of people mention.
Questioning dice pools and stuff, risk and things.
So like I say, there's loads of changes that can be made, but at the moment, this is the base thing. So, okay. So you ready to carry on?
Yep. Let's go.
Yep.
You get yourselves into the woods, what passes for woods, and they get thicker. It's so thick, in fact, that sometimes you've got to squeeze between trees. This has obviously slowed the sunburner down. It doesn't make any noise. Even when you hit him with the big stone table, there was no noise. He didn't shout, he didn't scream. Like I say, these guys are really, really well trained. And then you are pushing through. As you come out the other end here, you do know if you carry on, there's a crevasse. It's quite a deep crevasse, and there's a very black, almost tarish river that runs down there. It's thick with sludge and slime and silt. Basically, it's thick with everything beginning with S. So basically, as you run towards this, you know there's going to be a crevasse there, and there's a bridge a little bit further up. It's a wrought iron bridge, a little bit of the burnt trees as well, because it's quite thick and solid. It's not been used in a long time, so you can either climb down the cliff down to the riverside, or you can head right. It's like a choose your own adventure. Go to paragraph 42, or you can go right and head over to the bridge to cross the crevasse at the rickety old bridge.
I think we should. I think we should go for the bridge. If we go for the bridge, if we get across the bridge, we may be able to sabotage the bridge.
And it's not a rickety rope bridge like we used.
No, it's a rickety raw iron.
Yeah, it's reinforced, but still unreliable. Oh, there's taxpayer dollars.
Damn it!
I blame the mayor.
I blame the sovereign. So basically, you run up.
I blame the doctor.
Oi!
Let's go!
I've brought some acid here in my vials. I will be able to eat through this.
Excellent. I may be able to make use of that.
It's weird actually, because most doctors that I know who come around for house calls are carrying around a vial of acid. One came around the other day with a blowtorch. Why have you got acid in there so and so? Oh, come see me.
Hacksaw? Yes.
What you don't know, what you don't know is he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Look,
he never said he was a good doctor.
Yes.
In case of malpractice, break file.
He read hero as anti-hero.
There's a really bad bug, and it always bites people, and you need acid. I don't know. Let's just go over the bridge already.
It's
for those wasp stings. That's what it is.
Enough derision. Let's go.
Oh, this fucking big. That's just the sting.
It's canon.
A vial of acid, that'll do wonders for my sinuses.
Yeah, and your face. So you run to the bridge, and yeah, it is a little bit rickety. In fact, it's completely knackered, and as you're running across it, there's little bits falling off. This is where I ask for an agility roll from everybody. So make an agility roll, and you've been across this bridge a few times, no doubt, but not running. And the difficulty is going to be 10.
Yes, 13.
13?
7.
Oh. I mean, oh dear.
Not rolling. Why is it not rolling?
Looks like you rolled to take the blower path.
Yeah. Stop working.
You've got a 6, haven't you?
I've got plus 6.
You've rolled a 6.
No, you've got the 6. You need.
I can't.
Oh yeah. Have you clicked the dice? Have you clicked the dice?
He hasn't clicked the dice at the top.
Yeah.
He's just trying to show off with his bone.
He's old, remember. He's old, remember.
So it's just
my
oh no! Yeah, and my eyes are knackered. Oh, there's the Monty Python. So Mark, you rolled 7, yeah?
I did.
Okay, so you do a bit of a short round. So as you're bouncing across the bridge, I'm just going to say you all ran across the bridge in the order that you rolled. So you are just behind Strain there, second in, and then the bridge just gives way underneath your feet, just shatters, and your legs go through. This is where risk comes into play if you want to use it. You can make an agility roll to stop yourself falling down into the silty, sandy, muddy. Oh no, it begins with M as well. Into the shitty river below. That's an S. Or if somebody else wants to help, they can also use risk to grab hold of him and help him out.
Ooh, I think. Am I going to make another agility roll here?
You're going to make another agility roll, and your difficulty is going to be 12.
Ow. Right. In that case, I'm gonna use some risk. I'm gonna use 4 points of risk here.
4 points of risk. Okay.
How would the help manifest itself in the?
If you want to add an extra point to his roll, say Corey, if you wanted to add an extra point to his roll, you can use 2 points of your own risk to add 1 point to his roll.
Oh,
anybody can do that.
It's a 2 for 1.
I'll use 2 risk to help my good friend out.
So you get an extra plus 1 there, Mark. Anybody else want to sacrifice them?
I'll try into
risk. That's 2. That's an extra plus 1. You better make this roll now, Mark, because people are going to be pissed.
So I've got I'm adding 4 myself.
Yeah, and that's so between
and then 2 points.
Troy, you going to add any?
Nope.
No.
Come on, it's 50-50.
I'll remember that.
So that's a D6. So that's a D12 plus your agility plus your 6.
I rolled 12. I rolled 12.
Right, blimey. Well, it's a good job you took those points. So well done, everybody, for saving Mark's life. Yeah, you both lunge forward and basically just grab hold of him. That has slowed you down. That's going to give the sunburn the time to catch up.
I'm sorry, guys.
As you pull him up back through the bridge, And then as you get to the other side, the sunburner appears from the trees.
Oh, thank you,
on the other
gentlemen.
side. I'm going to get him to make an agility roll to see if he gets a chance to shoot. It would help if I'd actually put his scores
Come on, roll away.
here. And his difficulty, let me just clear that. So I click on agility,
Yeah.
and then I click on D12,
Yeah.
and then I click on roll. And I rolled a 15. So yeah,
That's
he
not
is going
fair.
to he is running forward quite quickly, and yeah, he's going to be able to get a shot off at one of you. So I'm going to roll a D4, which is a D12 divided by 3. Anyway, so I'm going to roll a D4.
Could I suggest it makes sense if it's actually one of the three of us that were on the bridge, as opposed to Croy,
Yeah,
who
so if
clearly
it's- if he
wasn't
rolls a-
helping?
That's true.
So,
Okay,
if he rolls a 4, he shoots himself.
Yes, I like
Only
that.
4 targets available.
Surely we're helping you out, and Croy was standing there, probably directing us. So maybe he looks the bigger target. 'cause he looks
I mean, it
like
would
the
actually be
leader.
quite funny. It would actually be quite funny because we're both lying down trying to stop him from falling to his death, and there's
Yeah.
only one actually
Only one
visible
target.
target.
That's great. That sounds good.
I mean, but we're heroes, but so we should make it fair.
Yes, I
Hey,
agree.
well, I
Everyone
suppose
suffers equally.
what we'd need to be asking is whether Dr. McLeod had stopped or whether he's just run
what did you do?
and,
Gordon?
and left
Carry
us
on running.
behind.
I mean, for a doctor who carries acid around.
That's a point. He was going to use the acid on the bridge.
Point. Whilst you're still on it, by the sounds of things.
Mm.
I think we decided that the option of having acid wasn't a good one. I think that might have been the general sort of mood of the room. I might be wrong in reading that, but
I
anyway.
mean,
So
you're allowed
I,
to
no,
have
you
the acid,
haven't.
We're just allowed to judge you at the same time.
I've
You can't
bolted.
retcon the acid. Our entire
I've-
plan depends on it.
I've bolted. I'm still running. 'Cause
Is-
I'm nimble, and I look round and I see this guy come out the trees, and I watch as the bridge begins to crumble, and yeah, the characters that are running with me, I kind of stop and turn round and shout, "He's coming out before us!" and I roar down.
Okay, but I'm going to ask for everybody to
What
do
a
then.
hero! What a hero!
You bastard!
Can everybody make an agility roll? And basically, he's going to shoot at the person who rolls the lowest.
Can you
Okay.
guys assist me so I can roll better?
I'm gonna have some risk.
I'm rolling a 7.
I got 10.
I got 16.
So it seems like we're wasting our time saving.
I rolled an 11.
Yeah, okay. So,
What's your risk on now then, Mark?
I'm on 11.
11. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like a
Okey-dokey.
D12 gun is.
Oh, so what is that? Is that? It's not at long range. Is that a range of 12?
Okay.
And he rolls a 16. So he pulls off the shot.
Oh, that's a miss.
He comes blasting over. Is it really? He comes blasting over, and he's going to hit you for 7 points of damage. The avoid gun does D12 damage
Okay.
because the actual damage is unpredictable.
All
Pulls
right.
off the top of the void gun. You hear that massive sound, that hissing sound of all the pressurized gas.
Okay.
The bolt comes blasting along and slams you smack into the shoulder. It dissolves your clothes. It dissolves your skin, and like again, shower of sparks, and yeah, extremely powerful. The way that void guns are designed, it's a bit like the weapons that the Jem'Hadar use in Star Trek. So when you shoot someone with it, it dissolves skin and bone, and then basically makes it almost impossible for the wound to heal. I mean, it will heal with a professional doctor with acid. But yeah, it's,
this guy's not heard of Geneva Convention.
oh no, he hasn't. He's never heard of Geneva. He did
He's
get
gonna
to bed.
melt off the projector.
Yeah, he did spend some time in Bristol. Wasn't the same. But
No,
so yeah,
Right,
he,
that's good.
I don't think there's a Bristol Convention anyway.
well,
there might be.
Just not that.
Yeah,
was there
but it's a
to
different
plan
kind of convention.
Absolutely, it was pottery and it needed work. Anyway, it hits you in the shoulder, and yeah, that's the pain is
Ow.
excruciating. And this is as you're all stumbling forward, and you all stumble off the bridge on the other side. They all tumble down to the ground. The sunburner has lifted up his rifle because it takes a round to reload, and he's basically starting to run across the bridge now. What would you like to do?
Am I able to use technical, try and figure out some kind of weak spot on this bridge that I might be able to smash away with a rock?
Absolutely. Basically, if you imagine like on the shitty old rope bridge,
Yeah.
it's a bit like that, but the pegs are literally holding these beams in place, which are really, really rotten. If you, well, I'll get you to make a roll actually. First of all,
Yeah,
that will give you a bonus to any roll afterwards if you make it. Difficulty is going to be 12. Make a technical roll. Difficulty 12.
Right. 15.
Oh, done. Looking at what you basically got 2 beams with slats going across it, and then those beams are driven into the ground, are held in like these massive obsidian pegs. They're rotten to buggery. If you smash one of those out, there's a very good chance that that whole side of the bridge is just going to collapse.
Okay. So I think what I will have done is I've been shot, so I'm kind of collapsed, kind of down by one of the struts for the bridge.
Yep.
And I can see this peg there. And I'm going to try and rush for the peg and hit it with this bit of obsidian that I've got and try and smash it.
Yep.
Try and break it down. And I'm shouting to the other 3 guys, run! Run! As I try and smash this thing.
What, selfless?
Well, it's supposed to be heroes, you said.
This is true. Well, I didn't expect you to die in the first 2 hours. So basically, you go, well, he was a hero, and now he's dead. So
well, he wasn't a hero of this story.
So yeah, what does everybody else want to do? You hear him shouting this, run, 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 and he's running forward, and by the looks of it, he's about to attack the bridge because it was looking at him funny.
Oh, I'm going to follow his directions. Run!
So is he attacking the like if we ran away, he would be attacking like the end closest to the sunburn?
Well, the sunburn is about nearly halfway across the bridge now, running really, really fast. If he smashes the bridge, yeah, the chances of the sunburn is going to fall to his death. Because if you fall into that tar, you ain't coming out.
I'm gonna help him out. I'm gonna
Yeah.
if I could, So if we could get it done faster, then I could hopefully pull him back up so he doesn't fall to his death.
Any other heroes want to help?
Jesus
It's an elf strike.
There are no heroes here.
Oh, go on then. I'll go and help him out. Goodness me. Kill the elves!
The doctor was never seen again.
The doctor's gone.
He's like
Doctor's
Forrest
gone.
Gump. He just kept on running and running.
Get shouting acid for some reason. So,
He's got acid on him. He didn't say which kind it was.
but he's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
all he
he's
knows
taking
is he's being chased by three unicorns and an angry rainbow.
Yeah, and he keeps shouting, "Why did he kill the elves?" So anyway, you go running forwards where this peg is in the ground. You literally go flying in, and you all belt it. So what I'm going to ask you all to do is for everybody to make each one of you to make a strength test. I only need 1 success, and the difficulty is going to be 12.
Yeah,
More
I'm not going to
successes
make
you
it.
get-
Yeah.
Yep, but only one of us has to succeed. I mean, if you all help me, I just need to roll like a 2.
No,
Yep.
we've all got to make a roll, and the more successes we get, the
Yep.
quicker it happens, right?
Yep. One at least. Yeah, I want.
I've been roll 20.
Oh, you have. Oh shit. I didn't want to hear that. Right, and it's a strength.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the?
I would spend risk here, but I've got fuck all to spend.
Yeah, it's already too late for me. I think you have to declare it beforehand, don't you? I keep forgetting to use it.
So what were your scores then? Sorry.
I'm going to spend 2 points of risk in this
Okay.
because it seems like a fairly.
I got an 8.
An 8. So no.
I just completely forgot about the risk thing.
You make a roll there, Lloyd. What did you get?
Yeah, I got 8.
8. How many points? Did you
14.
You got
I mean,
14.
I'd have to
did.
dump 4 to. Oh, but we only need
Yeah.
1 success. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd have to dump like 4 risk points to actually
Yep.
make it.
Yeah.
You all leap forward. Lloyd and Strain, you sort of, and then in comes Mark. Fuck yeah! And it's just smashed into it. It just shatters. The whole bridge shifts quite violently. And where are you, matey? No, he's not my mate at all. Actually, he's a bastard.
Why won't you let me die?
Yeah. And he fails his roll. His difficulty was 14.
Oh.
So he goes leaping forward. He tries to leap at the last second, but then the whole bridge just gives away. The whole thing just shatters, like piece by piece. He goes to leap. He doesn't do a Legolas in The Hobbit where he leaps from stone to stone, because that's just stupid. So
I mean, that's metal might be different. It's more buoyant.
That's true. So anyway, so he leaps, doesn't quite make it, slams into the side of the cliff, loses his void gun, and then falls down. He tumbles end over end, and then goes smack into the tar. It doesn't even splash. It's and then literally face in. As he's going down, the helmet colour changes from red to purple, flashes lots of different colours, ends on yellow, and then to stop. Ends in the I've just pissed myself
he
yellow.
pissed himself.
And then slams face first into the tar, and then he struggles against it, but then he disappears under there. There's no way. Like I said, people go under there. That's Woolly Mammoth time. And there's a clatter from where you stand. Excuse me. And the void gun lands butt first onto the ground, bounces end over end, and then just lands next to.
Revolution starts here.
I look at the other two, like, and I leap at it.
I'm not leaping anywhere.
I'm not leaping at it.
I grab the gun.
Right.
We need some kind of proof that we didn't just like lose. Like, yeah, we need some proof that we actually took him down rather than just like.
He got his gun.
He might have just got lost.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we take a break now because it's 20 to 11.
Yeah.
We want to take a break now for 10 minutes, and shall we reconvene at about 10 to 11?
Yes, sure.
If anybody's got any questions, if you've got something that you want to mention, something that you like, that you don't like I say, you can mention it in chat. I will be going through the chat logs when I'm doing the rewrites, and I'm sort of looking at people's feedback. Again, if you want to get in touch directly, if you go onto Twitter, I'm at John Mark Hicks. That's JONMARKHICKS. I'm also known as Somebody Wake Up Hicks. You'll find me on Twitter, and just send me a DM, or if you can find any other avenue to find me, feel free just to get in touch.
Awesome.
Right then, back soon.
Okay. Oh, hello. Sorry about that. We were talking about Alien.
Aliens is great.
Aliens is brilliant.
You're saying it's the best action film of the 80s.
Absolutely, but I think it's a terrible sequel. I think because
Escape from
thematically, it's
New
a bad
York,
sequel.
man.
I'm gonna
Escape
be
from New
playing
York.
I don't know.
Alien
I don't know what's
Isolation in VR soon.
That's
Brilliant.
fantastic.
Alien Isolation is actually my preferred sequel to the original movie. I think it's a fantastic carry-on, and it actually opens up an entire new environment and a new approach to the alien. I'm going to keep going now until Lloyd actually does fall into a coma. So, yeah. But anyway, enough of that. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're having a brief discussion there whilst we were drinking our teas.
Yes.
That's something I'm very passionate about, and I do apologise. Oh my god! I need to get one of those mugs because I've got a glass.
Yeah. We said we'd get you one because you're like.
I know.
Part of the crew.
Because yeah, absolutely. So I'll send you my address, but I'll send you a PO box. Actually, we've had this discussion before. So taking the risk.
I don't want you to know where I live.
Knock on my door.
Know where I live.
You have they gone? Yeah, no, they're still hanging on. Right, so excuse me a second. Should have done that before we came back on air, but I was too busy talking about aliens. So we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging around, and let's get back into it. So, as we ended the last session, before the break, the guy had fallen face first into tar, and you were on the wrong side of a crevasse. You can get back, you know the other way around. There's other ways to go back down to the valley and cross the river. So it's not
if we have to go around the other side of the planet, that's something I'm willing to do.
Yeah, we've got a void gun now. Screw everyone else. The void gun itself is just I don't know how to describe it. Actually, I've never actually designed one. It's just a long-barreled rifle with a sort of a square end.
And
very sleek, extremely. It's almost like a work of art. In fact, here we go. Off the top of my head, each void rifle is handcrafted. So each one is completely individual. So even though it retains a basic shape, there are additions and carvings and additions which is personalised by each sunburner. So this one just looks like an elongated 17th century pistol sort of look. Except it's you've got the technology and the
flintlock
wires,
type,
but it's
yeah.
it's all there's all carvings along the sides, which he's probably done personally because some burners are quite artistic. I've just made that bit up as well. I'll make a note of that later. So
My question is
obviously
then,
been done for him.
would anybody that knew this guy recognize his rifle and maybe go after whoever
Has the rifle.
That's
has
the rifle. There's millions of sunburners spread throughout the galaxy. The Infinite has lots and lots of sunburners. But
I have another question.
Yeah, go for it.
Did the Doctor keep running, and did we call out to stop him?
That's a good point, Koi. Did you carry on running, or did you stop to turn around?
stopped
Probably.
When I heard the bridge collapse, I
Yeah.
turned round and I made my way back to.
That would have
to-
been pretty
How does healing work? I would like to heal
Oh,
on arrival.
There we go. Yeah. Well, there is no healing. You can only get your risk point back through rest. Nobody was actually physically hurt. You see, the risk point is basically just your chances of not getting hurt going down and down and down.
Okay.
So,
armor, right?
so you got hit, and it sort of took out the. It hurt, but
Yeah.
didn't penetrate. So you're just a
Okay.
little bit singed, probably bruised, but it hasn't penetrated. Okay.
So until we run out of risk, a Doctor is a pointless character then.
Not really, because when you do run out of risk, things turn south really,
Right, yes,
really.
so when
I'm
we
sorry,
run out of
it's out of Croy. I do apologise. Good choice of character there, Croy. Nice one. So it's the risk Doctor. So no, it's frustrating because the risk will run down and down and down. But as soon as you start losing actual strength, then
Right.
things turn serious. Because like I say, for every point of strength you lose, your difficulty goes up by 1. Then you start to become a liability to the rest of the group.
So I guess then, and
That's
I know
what you do, Doctor.
we're kind of talking about this kind of thematic. When you're spending risk, you're probably not even really getting hit necessarily.
Yeah,
Would
I
that
mean,
make
what
sense? I guess it's more a case of like you've managed to duck behind something, you've used up some of your luck.
Yeah. Absolutely.
and-
I mean, how you want to interpret that risk is completely up to you. I mean, the way I
Yeah.
interpret it is that he got hit, but it was just a singeing
Okay.
hit. So yeah,
Yeah.
the exclamation, the spark. So there's
Got
a moment
wing.
of panic, like, "Oh shit, I'm hit," but no, I'm okay.
Right.
Or it's literally you feel the heat of the blast go past you, but it missed.
Somehow
Or
you
you
get out of the
hit
way.
the tree instead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you can interpret it as you want. It's only when your strength starts to go down, and you can start talking about skin getting ripped off and limbs flying in different directions and the loss
Right.
of blood. You know what I mean? As
Yeah.
far as risk is concerned, you literally just made it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, you're on the other side of this crevasse. You have a void gun, which if I remember correctly, Lloyd picked up.
Did.
And what do you want to do now? Now, the town, or the city, like I say, it's just a large town, really. That's probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes back. Walk back. It's going to take you about 10-15 minutes to get down the other side of here and over the Tar River further down. But yeah. What do you want to do?
Yeah, it's a pity we can't recover his arm
Yeah, because the wrist shield's really cool.
and the rest of it.
Yeah, the armor's good. I might make some changes there, but the wrist shield, if I can just find it, I don't think I've made any notes on that actually.
It is mentioned in the document.
It is. Oh yeah, we got arm shields. It's a wrist-mounted energy projector that can be activated to help deflect all incoming attacks. The user must make an agility roll of difficulty 12, and if successful, they stop all damage. However, with every successful use, the energy field is overloaded and shuts down after 6 hits. It takes an in-game hour to reset before it can be used again. So basically, if you take a shot, somebody shoots at you, you activate your wrist shield. If you pass your agility, then you move the shield into position, and it absorbs all the damage. But it can only take 6 hits. As soon as it's hit for the 6th time, it overloads and shuts down. But you get it back in an hour. So it's quite handy to have. But you don't know that because your character's never come across one before.
No, but if someone else had picked up the shield, we could have almost formed a D&D party.
Yeah.
One gun, one shield, one
Yeah.
medical bag full of acid,
Well, all you need
one
is a
open
jetpack.
dream.
All you need is a jetpack and a small blue child, and then you've basically got Ulysses 31. So yeah, so you're all good. So you're heading back into town?
Yeah.
Victoriously heading back into town, yes. I would
Yeah.
imagine so.
I mean,
With
that
a bit of a
was.
swagger now that we've won the.
But wait. Should we hide the rifle? If we turn up back in town, they may take it from us. They're not going to let us keep it.
But are we not going to need like some kind of proof that we won?
I think
We are
the
still
fact that
alive.
Yes, we're here, and that is surely enough.
I'll tell you what, if you want
And we
proof,
can
if you
stop
want
up
to
at my
hide the
place on the way
rifle,
back.
if you want to hide the rifle, you want proof. When you hit him with the table earlier, you actually shaved off a bit of his like part of his shoulder guard, which is like a curved piece of metal, a bit like the Mandalorian's armor. You literally just smashed a piece of that off. You can take that back in as proof if you want to.
Sounds good.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll
take
stash
it
the gun
story.
in my place.
Yes.
In the secret storage room.
Mhm.
And we'll take the shoulder plate.
Not taking the gun with you, no?
Oh, but
Nah.
that was.
They
We
did
would
raise a
take-
good point there. They might take it away from him.
Okay. Head back. The crowd is waiting expectantly, but then when you start walking down the street and start re-emerging the crowd, a shout goes up. It's not a shout of joy or jubilation. It's actually shock that you're alive. Sunburner went after you. The legends of the Sunburners. It's basically, you know what I mean. It's like you've run out naked with sunglasses on, and the Jedi's gone after you. There's no way you're going to win. But I don't know why I said naked in the sunglasses. I'm weird.
We had the higher ground, though. We had the higher ground.
I had the higher ground, and my shades are cooler, and I'm naked. So you basically get back into the town. You go walking in. Like I said, everybody's quite surprised, and the crowd actually parts, sort of Red Sea style, out of the way. So you kind of walk down the centre. There's an expectant hush falls across the entire crowd. The prefect looks surprised. He's even looking past you to see where the Sunburner is. But then you walk up to the bottom of the steps, and he's stood before at the top of you. He stood in front of you at the top of the steps. He's got 4 guards around him, sort of 2 on each side, sort of spread out. They've got their rifles out there, sort of looking at each other, a little bit confused as they look down at you. Who has the piece of armor?
Take it. I'll have it.
Yep. Well, what is it you want to do?
We'll go up to the guys who just toss the plate at their feet. Because
Yep.
You made a there was a deal. Now
The armor clatters across the floor towards the prefect's feet, and he sort of looks down at it, takes a deep breath, and he's looking not crestfallen, but a bit concerned. He motions, and one of the guards sort of goes down and picks up the armor, and sort of looks at him and nods as if to say, "Well, yeah." And he looks down and sort of nods. "The city will be spared," he says. "However, to kill a Sunburner is punishable by death. And sadly,
of course it is.
all you fine people here, you appear to have harboured murderers. So your city will be spared, but you will not. Arrest them." And he points at his guards, and he points at you 4.
I just gonna book it back to my place.
Yep.
Like
Gonna
we're gonna
turn
go
and run,
down.
yeah?
We're gonna go down fighting.
Yep. What do the rest of you want to do?
These more sunblades, are they, or are they just guards?
These are just normal guards with normal rifles doing normal shit on a normal day. They're normal. But they've
I
got-
kind of look at them as he runs off to get his rifle. We
Yeah.
killed one of them. I think we can manage 4 of you. Smile. And try and intimidate.
Okay, so
Persuade or scare or...
it's going to be a charisma roll. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to set that target at 14. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually let's do what the opposed roll. Now, opposed rolls are very, very simple. You are basically, if you're in opposition of each other, you choose the skills that you're using, which are usually the same. You both roll, and whoever rolls the highest wins. If you both roll equal, then whoever's got the highest skill level wins. If it's still a tie, then you just re-roll. Simple as that, yeah?
Okay. I'm adding 4 risk.
Okay, so you're adding 4 risk to your roll, yeah?
I am.
So let me just get in here. Should have thought and given these guys stats. So I am just going to give it something basic. I'll give him a 2. So, and a D12 and a roll. And so you've got to beat 11, basically.
I rolled 13.
Okay, brilliant. They're looking a little bit nervous. Yes, you just basically just told them you killed a Sunburner. This Sunburner's probably just murdered. I mean, the Sunburners lived for a long time. This Sunburner's probably killed thousands of people in his lifetime. He doesn't discriminate between age or anything. He just kills what he's told to kill. You wouldn't be surprised if he spent some time burning actual suns and wiping out entire solar systems. So yeah, they are a little bit nervous.
I suggest you run then.
The prefect sort of steps back and he points. I said arrest them! And the guards are wavering, but they are going to do what the prefect's told them. So
Is there any
basically, what you
crowd nearby us at this time?
Oh yeah, the people are starting to press in. They've just been told that they've been harboured to murder. So one of two things is going to be happen.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be executed, or they're going to be taken away to the hyper assault mines.
I would like to have a second attempt at rousing the rabble. And
It's going to be a little bit easier this time.
And I'm going to say it again. I told you, you're all forfeit. No. Why are you just going to stand and take it? Are you going to run over these clowns into the ground? And then, yeah.
Kill the guards! Kill the guards!
Strange enough, they are dressed as clowns. So if you make your roll, then it's going to be your charisma. Your difficulty this time is going to be 10 because of what's just happened, and you've just proven that you can kill a sunburner. Do you want to add any risk to that?
No, I'll take my
So you're
plus
just
5.
Gotcha. So
Okay.
make your roll.
Yes, 12.
Brilliant.
Viva
That-
la revolution.
That basically sets them off. The guards at first were nervous because of what Strain said, because, dead sunburner. They all took a step back. The prefect's looking a little bit nervous as he steps back. And that's when the crowd then just surges forward. Let's face it, they're either going to be executed or they're going to die in a hyper assault mine. They're not having it. So they come running up the stairs. One of the guards lowers his rifle and pulls off a couple of shots, hits a couple of people, but that doesn't stop them. In fact, they're even pushing past you to get up there. One starts shouting, "Throw your acid!" No, it doesn't. So he's basically just running up the stairs as they go piling into the troops. They're calling for help. The prefect has turned and has started to run back to his ship. Lloyd, you've literally just got to your place. It's right on the corner there, so that's not a problem. You've grabbed the void gun, and by the time you're back towards the crowds, a riot has broken out.
Can I chase after the prefect?
I'm going to go
and,
after the prefect as well if I can.
Yeah.
I can still see him when I get back.
Now,
I was going to try and sneak back and assassinate him, but the rebel rousing kind of interrupted that plan.
Coy, as the people are surging forward, they're pushing past you. You're going to have to push through this crowd of very angry people to get to the prefect. So what I'm going to ask you to do is make a strength roll. So D12 plus your strength score. It's going to be difficult because there's a lot of people pressing in. They all want to. This is years, generations of frustration. So yeah, difficulty is going to be 14. All close. You're literally swimming through people trying to get past them. It is.
I got 19. I'm going to take him down.
Okay, so you're pushing through this. Does anybody else want to try and push towards the prefect?
I shall make a half-assed attempt.
Yeah. Okay,
You
strength
say
roll then.
strength.
Difficulty 14.
If you make a half-assed attempt,
I can't make it.
No.
I won't make it.
Okay then. Now you start pushing
I'm
through.
swept away by the crowd.
The crowd is just shouting, and they're not quite shouting rebellion, but they're shouting justice, 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 but in different voices at different levels of volume. So, Lloyd, you come running in. In the distance, you can see the prefect running up the ramp. He's got 2 guards with him. You're going to have the chance to pull off one shot. Do you want to go for it?
Yes, please. Fingers crossed.
You were very polite about that. Yes, please. I'd like to shoot him in the face. Let's have a look. So
I thought the back might be more symbolic, but I'll go for what I can get.
Okay, the target number depends on the range. It's going to be at medium range, so it's going to be 12 to hit. And you get +1 to the target number for every issue, such as low light or cover or distraction, of which you have none. You have clear line of sight to him. So basically, you want a D12. You're adding your ranged combat, and the difficulty to hit is 12.
4 risk.
Okay, so add 4 to that.
Is there any way that, having roused the rabble, that I could manipulate the other people to kind of assist in that, and thus use some of my risk to assist the shot? Like, could I?
No, I will say yes for now. You can use your risk if you want to. When I was looking over the rules earlier, I was thinking about proximity. You can't aid somebody if you're not within proximity. So if you're over there, you know what I mean. You can't use your mental powers to go. Oh, I'll will you to win. You know what I mean.
Could the crowd that I've raised, could I have shouted, "Get the gangplank down! Stop them from getting in!" Then they could be pulling at the gangplank to try and haul it out from under them or something.
It's not a gangplank. It's like a ramp that's come out from under the ship. So yeah, it's gonna be like grabbing like a forklift truck.
Yeah.
But
that's okay.
I don't know. We'll try with Lloyd with the shot first, and then if you want to try something else, and then we'll come back to that. So sorry, Lloyd. Yeah, you need a 12 to hit.
Yes.
It's a hit.
15.
You blast with the void gun. The void gun does D12 damage. So roll a D12. He's only got 10 points of risk.
8.
8. So you pull off the shot. It goes past him, just misses, singes his robes, slams into the ramp. Again, the big shower of sparks. But yeah, he's staggering up the ramp, trying to literally just get out of the way. The guards turn around. One of them's going to take a half-arse shot at you. He's not very good, so let me just change this. Get rid of that. And what did I say the range was? 12, yeah?
Yeah.
The range is 12. He pulls off a shot back. He's +3 and completely misses. It's like a normal rifle, so the barrel sort of it's a recoilless, so the barrel pumps once. He pulls off the shot, it goes past you and hits somebody's window. That's not covered by insurance, unfortunately.
That's fortunate.
Yeah, the prefect is about to disappear into the ship. So sorry, Cordy, do you want to try something?
Yeah, I want to try and direct the crowd to storm the ship.
Yep.
And do whatever they can.
Get up the ramp before it closes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to go along with the flow of traffic then, with the flow of crowd as they head towards the ship?
Yeah.
If you succeed, of course. So in that case, then it's going to be another charisma roll. Difficulty again is 10.
Okay. I think I will embark on using a couple of points of risk on this one as well.
Okay, go for it.
If I add, I don't know what that does. I'll add 2 onto it by.
Okay.
Whatever this is, +2, 10. So +2 is 10.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Excuse me. So that's enough. The difficulty was 10. So yeah, they were sort of going, listen to the doctor. He's I don't know, he's got a drill or something. So they all go running forward, and they sort of hit the bottom of the ramp. The guards again are trying to shoot, but there's just too many people, and this is something they're not used to. They're used to the prefect basically being told what to do, but the prefect being obeyed more than anything else. One of them just drops his rifle and just pegs it off into the trees, and just jumps off the side of the dais, and the other one basically starts running up the ramp behind the prefect. But the people then start swarming up the ramp, and you're being carried along by all of this. Mark, what do you want to do?
Now, my guy's kind of a technical dude. Is there any way? I mean, he's being swept away by the crowd. Probably unlikely. But is there any way that I can stop the ramp from closing to enable more of these people to get on board? Is there any way?
Yeah. You can make a technical roll. If you get up the ramp, where the hydraulics are either side, there's access panels next to that. If you can just pull out some wires, you might be able to disable the actual the hydraulics from working.
Okay.
So that'll be a straightforward technical roll.
Okay.
So you're followed up by the ramp. What I'm going to ask you to do first is make a strength roll, which is difficulty 12. If you fail that, then your difficulty on your technical roll will be 14. Because basically you're being buffeted around by loads of people. So you need to get some stability, yeah?
Yeah. I probably failed the roll. Yeah, I got a 7 on the roll, so I failed that to strength roll.
So you're making a technical roll, but your difficulty will be 14 to manage to disable this ramp. You can add any.
I've got 2 points of spirit of risk left.
Yeah, you can use them if you want to, but it's up to you.
I'm going to use them. I figure this is probably the kind of time when you would need to use them. So I'm going to use 2 points of that.
Go for it.
Let's do. Well, damn it!
Damn it! Just shy.
Yeah.
I say just shy. It's about 2 points. But yeah, you get the panel open, but yeah, the wires, you're being knocked about by people. They're shouting and all sorts. You're almost falling off the ramp whilst you're trying to do this. And as you get your hands in and trying to get the wires out, you've almost pulled away from it. And then there's a plunge as the ramp. Yeah, the ramp's trying to rise up. Strain.
Like being an IT tech at a school.
I wouldn't know.
Strain, what are you doing?
I'm going to try and get on board the ship, so I'm going to keep going with the crowd to try and get on board the ship.
Yeah, they're flooding up the ramp. Croy, were you going up the ramp as well?
Yeah, I'm coming with the crowd, yeah.
Gotcha. Lloyd, what are you doing?
I'll probably go with them. I was tempted to go with it, like try and shoot like whatever might pass for a cockpit in these ships.
Yeah.
But then if we blow a hole in it, then we can't really leave either.
Well, you can see the pilot is in the cockpit at the very front. Like I say, it's in a blister at the front. It's like it's a beetle shape sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's where the head is. It's like there's like 2 or 3 massive blisters. It's almost like somebody's been blowing bubbles and then put them on top of a vessel, and so it's all really weird shaped. And you see the pilot in there, basically prepping the ship to launch by the looks of things.
Alright, so I might, and actually I'll take a shot at him.
Yep.
Disrupt him, and slow him down a bit.
Well, a void ship can pretty much cut. A void gun can pretty much cut through anything. It's basically there's no armor. You can cut through any armor. So pull off a shot. Same difficulty again. Difficulty 12.
Yes.
14.
Excellent. You pull off the shot. It goes through dissolves the window and goes straight into the pilot. So make your damage roll. D12. 6. Yeah, he's got. I haven't actually.
It was a D12.
Void. D12 to hit. Yeah. So sorry, what did you roll on that? That was a 6, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, for the damage. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
It was 14 to hit, and then.
It goes through the cockpit, punches the window, dissolves the window, and that's made the ship pretty much shit. There's no way that's going back into orbit now. But you hit the pilot, he goes slamming back into the seat, but he does manage to grab hold of the yoke. It's not enough to knock him out or incapacitate him. And then, even though the ramp's still closing, the ship sort of lifts up and starts to take off. Corey, you were first on board, weren't you? Boy.
Was I first on board? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Strain's character was in front of me because he started running first. I did stay back one round to direct the crowd initially. So
in that case, then we'll say that Strain has got on. Croy, you're just behind him. Mark, you were on the ramp. So at this point, the ramp's starting to go up and the shift's starting to lift. So you've got the choice of either getting on board or jumping off.
No, this is a good. Now, my friends are on the ship.
Yeah, and the doctor.
Yeah. So I will rush forward. I think it's probably safer than trying to jump off the ramp into a crowd of people. So I think that's what I will do.
Okay, well, you run up into the ramp, and when you get in there, it's a big open space. There's all sorts of seats. It's only a courier ship. There's all sorts of open seats and all stuff, and there's people punching crew members and chucking them against walls and tearing panels off, and I don't know, singing rude songs about shit. So you basically get up top. Basically, when you get up to the top of the ramp, you need to turn around and then head back again towards the front of the ship where you see the cockpit. You see the cockpit is actually quite open, and you see that the pilot's slumped in the seats, and there's a big hole in the window.
It's actually more open than we would like.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's still pulled on the control. He obviously just wants to get out of there. And the prefect has run next to him. Just behind the prefect, running up there, is a bunch of people, and Strain's there as well. And Croy's just behind him. So Strain, you get as the ship starts to lift upwards, you get up into the cockpit first. What do you want to do? You've got the pilot to your left, and you have the prefect to your right.
I want to grab the pilot out of the pilot seat and jump in the pilot seat.
Gotcha. You dive forward, and you grab hold of the pilot. Now, again, this is going to be a bit of a grapple. Hey, grapple rules! So it's going to be an opposed roll. So it's going to be strength against strength. Now, his strength is 3. If I can just do this. Yes, I can. Basically, you're making a strength roll against his strength roll, yeah?
Yep.
It's D12 plus your strength. He's rolled a 6 in total.
And I rolled a 6 in total.
No, actually, no, I got... Sorry. I didn't click on the +3 for the buff.
Oh, pants.
No,
he's grappled you.
He's grappled you, actually. Yeah, he rolled a 13. So you leap forward, you grab hold of him to get the controls, but he's sort of, no way, man. He's trying to control the ship, and he's also got hold of you as well. He has a basic piloting skill. What I'm also going to have to work out is skill ranges. So what makes you a professional, what makes you a master, what makes you a veteran, that sort of thing. Again, that's just something else I can work out. He's trying to control the ship whilst trying to fight a maniac who's trying to pull him out of the chair. And he rolls a 6, which is an absolute failure. So as the ship's lifting off and going up, he suddenly sort of tilts. He's sort of holding onto the wheel and trying to fight you off at the same time. The whole ship shifts over. So everybody on board, I'm going to need you to make an agility roll, please. Difficulty's going to be 12.
Am I still attached to him? So I'm fine.
I'll still ask you to make an agility roll, but because you're fighting him, you're sort of in a position of you've got support. Your difficulty is only going to be 10.
Thoughts and prayers, guys. Thoughts and prayers.
That'll do it.
I'm just wondering if Maniac is just kind of like Strain's default mode.
Oh, I'm the pilot. I want to get the ship.
No, it's just Strain.
I just haven't got the strength to do it.
Yeah, he's got elf muscle.
Yep. For you, elf. Oh,
I got 10.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. So everybody's fine except for you, I'm afraid, Mark. The ship tilts over. Everybody goes flying sideways. You go banging into a hull. You're going to take D3 points of damage. Unfortunately, we don't have a D3. So I'm actually just going to roll a D3 here.
Why is it? I can roll a D12 and
Yeah,
by
well,
4.
I mean, Mark for the 2d6 comment will let you roll 3 D1s.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll roll a D6. So you do take 3 points of damage.
I'm dead.
You're not.
I am dead.
No, you're not, because
I'm at
now
-2.
your risk has got to 0.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I do apologise. But so now those points start to come off your strength.
I have
So
one point
basically,
of
what's
strength.
happened is, sorry,
So you're
I have
on
1
0
point
exactly.
of strength, so I am. No, I've got 0 risk. I have got 1 point
You
of
used all
strength.
your
I'm at
bits.
-2. Yeah.
but unfortunately, then, well, you're going to die in your strength rolling rounds. Luckily, there is a doctor on board. So basically, you've been thrown sideways. You go slamming into the bulkhead.
Yeah.
So unless Captain Acid doesn't get to you in time, so how many strength points do you have?
1.
1. The doctor, you need to get to him in 1 round and do your magic. We'll come back to that in a minute. The ship has tilted sideways and gone downwards. The whole thing's shifted, and the weight is shifted because loads of people have just gone over. Basically, what's happened to you, Mark, is you've slammed into the hull, and then loads of people have fallen onto you, which is never a good thing, really.
No.
So it's basically the Metallica concept, but with less yield. The whole thing is basically just swung. The ship swung down and then smashed into one of the ankles of the statue. It shattered the ankle. The whole statue itself creaks and drops. The whole ship slews round sideways, and then the entire vessel is the entire Empire State building size statue of the Infinite, if that's what it is, comes crashing down towards the ship. Strain. It's on
Thank
you.
you, guys. That's sending a message. Well done,
That is
guys.
a massive message. I'm dead. So are you.
Yeah, like I love the thing. This be like from the outside, be like, "Well, that looks dangerous and unpleasant and painful for anyone inside."
That's
Thank
unfortunate.
God I'm not there.
It's an act of God. So, Strain, what is it you want to do?
I want to try and wrestle control of the ship off him.
Okay, you're going to have to, because otherwise, unless he makes the roll next. So let's make another roll against your strength, and then against his strength.
Can he use a couple of risks this time?
Okay. Well, he rolls a 9.
Okay. So it is strength.
Using some risk.
Yes.
12.
Yeah,
So
12.
you beat him. You literally force him out of the chair. He's already, well, he's not wounded actually. He's still in shock after almost getting shot by a void gun. You toss him out of the chair, and then you jump in. What I'm going to ask you to do now is make a pilot roll, and your difficulty is 12. You can add risk if you wish. If you have it.
Yes.
Yes.
16.
You jump into the pilot's chair, you grab hold of the yoke, you turn the ship sideways, the whole thing's slow, just as the entire thing's crashing down. You slip it between where the arms are hanging onto the massive brazier. And yeah, you slip it through there. Brazier even, not a brazier, that's a completely different thing. And you literally just slip through the arms there. Yeah. And the whole thing comes crashing down. Luckily, there's not many people on the ground with no people underneath it. They're all sensible enough to move out of the way. And it doesn't land on the city either.
You know
The
that
whole
pedestal thing that
statue-
the guy was stood on?
Yeah.
Can we knock that down as I'm bringing and getting the ship under control? As a
Pedestal
symbolic thing? Yes. That's the pedestal thing. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the whole thing just smashes to pieces, and the whole thing just. I mean, imagine a skyscraper toppling over slowly, and then AT-AT style, leaving a trail of smoke behind it from the big burning thing. I won't say.
Gonna send a bit of an earthquake as well.
Oh god, yeah. There's the shock waves. Is absolutely everybody's sort of knocked to their feet. It's absolutely stunning visually as well. It's some of the best CGI that ILM have ever done. The whole thing just shattered the head of the Infinite, if that's what it is. Bounces and rolls off.
I love it if everyone stops to think, like, if that is what it is, like, whenever they think about this basic shit, shaving precious seconds off their chance to get away from being crushed to death.
Yeah, so it's down and it smashes, and then the ship is sort of slow. The ship is badly damaged, but it's still operational. Meanwhile, Doctor, do you wish to run to Mark's assistance?
I hear somebody shout something, "Doctor!" like that when he's been shot, and then I turn around immediately and run because I am such a conscientious practitioner of the medical practice.
And sprightly.
And very sprightly too.
So you go leaping forward. Now the way that healing works is that your basic score to heal is 10 because you obviously you practiced in it, and for every point of strength over 0 that Mark has lost, it's added to the difficulty number. You lost 2 points, didn't you? Below, yeah. So your difficulty is going to be 12. So you are making a roll against medical. And basically your difficulty is 12, and if you pass that roll, you stabilised him and he will live. To make you roll.
Okay,
I would give it some risk,
I'm
but
going to add 2 risk to this roll, so whatever I roll plus 2.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't. It's a proximity reason. Should I set it for helping, or can I still give him risk?
I missed. I got 10 in total.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mark.
sleep with the bitches.
You leap over, you try to help. Unfortunately, Strained, because he's preoccupied doing something else, he wouldn't have been able to add anything to the roll, and unfortunately NPCs don't have risks to share. So, except for important ones, but nobody's important here, not as important as you guys, especially the dead one. So you basically leap over. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he was already hurt, and the press of bodies pushing him against the hull didn't help either. So the ship, yeah, they're bastards. So the ship slews round. Strain, you managed to land it. You made such a good roll earlier. You bring it down and touch it down, and then the ramp drops automatically, and people start. A lot of people are injured, which you can help with, and yeah, there you have it. Prefect is dead. The prefect, when the whole ship tilted, because he ran out of what on earth? Because he ran out of yeah, hi. Because he ran out of risk anyway. Yeah, he slammed into the bulkhead and sadly broke his neck. His last words were, "Oh God," and then he's dead. So yeah, the ship settles down in orbit. The void ship.
He died a true hero's death.
Yeah, he did. He died a hero. He actually killed a sunburner as well, and then paid the price, obviously. In orbit, the void ship is still sat there. It doesn't wait for anything. A void ship doesn't wait for anything. So if the ship hasn't come back yet, it's not going to wait.
I'll shoot it.
And as you're watching, yeah, it's good range on these rifles. And as you're watching, it blurs as if going out of focus and just vanishes. They basically fold space in this game, and then the void ship disappears. So they're probably not even aware of what's just happened down here. So on the surface of this world at the moment, you have a city that has just uprised against its prefect. You have a starship, which can be repaired, and you have an entire world in rebellion.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do that.
So, that's the end of this particular game, this particular little scenario. It did go off on a tangent. I didn't expect you to do the raiding of the ship shit, but he adapted. But Mark's dead, so it's kind of your fault. So, so yeah. So what we're asking for from yourselves, of course, and from the people watching, is basically just feedback. So, what do you think of the system? What do you think of the setting? What did you think of the way things played out? Obviously, some of the rules I was playing very fast and loose with, because this is the first time they've ever been played, and certain things haven't been allowed for yet. That's what playtesting is all about. If you do want a copy of these rules, I will set up a playtest document, and I'll make it available for everybody. Again, just get in touch with me. I'll send you a PDF of it, so that you can actually have a look for yourself, maybe playtest it yourselves, make some notes, and come back with feedback. I'm going to make this as open as possible for people to be involved with. So, so yeah. If you just want to leave comments in the chat, then do so. Like I said, I'll come back and I'll read those and take everything under advisement. So, so there you go. So, what are your initial thoughts, lads?
Enjoyed the system. System's easy enough. Yeah. The world setting sounds interesting. Want to know more? Definitely want to know more.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
Have to liberate more planets by those little stations.
Yeah.
The setting I've already designed rules for vehicles, very similar to the rules that we used last Friday at the moment on those dark places, and I've got starship rules as well. So there is space in here for starship battles and that sort of stuff. Not fighter battles, kind of Star Wars style, more like big capital ship battles. So yeah, there's rules for that actually in process as well. I'm also going to come up with a world generation chart so people can create their own worlds. But that's all stuff in the future. But yeah, I'm trying to create a huge expansive setting that people can actually bring their own things to. So it's so big you can actually create pretty much anything that you want. You can have a feudal society somewhere, you can have an industrial planet, you can do pretty much whatever you want with it, and then I'm going to bring in the rules as well for the psychics. But that's something I'm still playing with and still tinkering with.
Yeah. No, I think that's I like the system. It's simple. Always.
I like simple.
Yeah, it's always. Yeah, I really like this setting. And like Strange says, I think it's going to be interesting to see more, because at the moment we're just looking at this from like one planet perspective, right?
We came into it totally and utterly blind. I mean, I didn't even read the document till 5 minutes before we started.
What?
So, yeah, I know, shocking.
I spent 27 seconds writing that.
I know.
And you know what? And I gave you access literally
this morning
before we started.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that has great potential. I'd be quite.
It's early days yet. There's still a lot of work to do, especially with the rules concerned. I'm pretty much down pat with the setting. But if anybody's wondering why I've called it Tales of the Infinite, it's because of Infinite Monkey Tales. And I'm doing this mainly because you guys have given me an outlet for my game. Not only for me to actually sit down and game with people, like-minded people, but also to sort of and promote myself. Let's face it, I had a game to sell. But you've also welcomed me into your group and into this little community, and everybody's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm doing this as a kind of a thank you, and that's why I want you involved, because there's no point in me writing this and saying this is what it's like, and you lot saying that's nothing like us, you bastard. Taking some liberties there. And so that's why I want you and the viewers involved. So this is me saying thank you to you for bringing me into this fold, and this is something we can all work on and hopefully do something with.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Love the setting. Love the action. Absolutely phenomenal. So, guys, any last words from anybody finally before we wrap up for this evening?
Thank you, John.
That's all right. I don't think Mark had time for last words.
I'm
gonna take some.
Mark used his last words time at the beginning with his thank you.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get any more at this time.
No, because I was thinking originally that 15 risk points was too much.
Yep.
And as the one person that used them all, I retract that, because I was thinking. I think we'd originally had a discussion about making the game grittier by reducing the starting risk points. I think that we'd kind of been mentioned in Discord, hadn't we? But maybe it's gritty enough. I don't know.
I went down to 3 risk points myself.
I ended up on 12, but that's because I was just like I limited it to like specific things I needed to do rather than like just using it all the time like Ken.
Yeah.
You can be quite flamboyant with your risk points and basically give yourself all kinds of bonus to help you out. But what was happening with Mark, you can pay for it in the end. And that's why I also included the risk points, that everybody can share them. So it's a group thing. So if you do want to help somebody, then you can spend a couple of risk points and help them out. Yeah. Whether I decide on those bonuses, at the moment I've decided on the bonuses to be made and used before the roll is made. So if you fail the roll, then that's just tough. What I'm thinking about doing to make this a bit more heroic is that if you fail a roll, you think, God, I failed that by 4 points. Well, I'm going to use risk and then add that on and then make the roll. You know what I mean? So you've got a better idea of using. Then you're not just using risk points and then wasting them. Yeah. That's. I might try that in the next session, to be honest with you, and see how that works out. I think that might work out better.
I guess it kind of depends whether you're going for a more pulpy game or a grittier game, right?
Well, I'm looking for a pulpy action game. That's why
if you're going for pulpy, then I think
higher points. Yeah,
I think allowing you to spend the points retrospectively would probably work.
Yeah.
It also makes people more likely to use them.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Yeah, which might be better in terms of the fact that you've got a mechanic there that people may be less inclined to use because
I don't want to waste them.
There's a risk using risk.
Absolutely, yeah. It's risky using risk, yeah.
That kind of the general degradation of your points as well works quite nicely from the story as it progresses. You get more tired. You get just kind of less aware. And so by not wanting to use them, knowing that they're effective, you definitely would use more. I would have chunked in big numbers just to get some rolls through if I knew that I could have applied them retrospectively. So that would work. That would definitely work.
I think I might. Yeah, I'll add that. I won't do it as an option. I'll add that for the actual rules. And I think adding them after the roll is made, it's probably it's definitely.
I think that's something we should definitely try if we have another game. I think that's something we should definitely try.
Yeah.
Whether it's something we would actually, whether you'd actually include that and say that's the rule, I'm unsure. As it is, I kind of like things a bit
risky.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always the option for optional rules. So as we've just discussed about adding them on after the roll, but then say if you want to go for something a little bit more risque, then declare your points percentage before you make your roll.
But conversely, I like the fact that it's hit points that you can choose to use as you like, and I think that's a really cool mechanic. I really do like that, and the fact you can use it for other players is a really, really, really good move as well.
But there's always going to be a point where one player is going to be down to God knows how many. You're going to lose so many hit points is going to be a problem. And if somebody's down there on 2 hit points and there's somebody there on 20 hit points, and you know what I mean, and both doing the same thing, and to have the option of having somebody share their hit points with you to keep you going. Not only do I think that's quite a nice mechanic because it adds a little bit of melodrama and a little bit of tension, it also works well for a group dynamic because then you're kind of being forced to work together in a way. It's up to you to spend the points or not.
Which I think is the point.
I think a lot of games are a lot of games are very individualistic, and I like the idea that you're actually working as a team, and that you're comrades, and that you're friends, and that you're companions, and that you're willing to help each other in situations when things get shitty. So I think that makes for a good role playing. It makes for a good playing atmosphere as well. You're doing something to help somebody, and you're not there saying
these are people that are supposed to be. They're supposed to be our friends or whatever. People risk their lives for their friends, and you literally are doing it by spending those points, which is a great.
Absolutely, and I'm not forcing people to role play that way. Of course, I mean if they do decide that they're not going to spend them, and that's the way they're going to play the game, that's completely their choice. That's the angle that I'm going for. I mean, it's a big, nasty universe out there, and you've got to stick together. So that's what I'm going for. As far as the setting is concerned, if that's how you use it, then that's completely up to you as the game. Once you've bought the game, once you've got hold of a copy of the game, what you do with it is completely up to you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Okay, well I think that's it then.
Yeah, so much more to come. So much more to play, so much more to discuss, so many more iterations to work through and feedback on. It's great to see this process right up front and right close. So thank you very much to everybody for participating tonight. We're going to be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow is technically our official birthday. We are going to be 1 year old, 1 year of broadcasting to Infinite Monkey Tales. And we're going to be doing a very special game that the Infinatyhas got for us, and it involves goblins. I have got a character or 5 to create, so find out more about that, and join us tomorrow at 9 PM BST, which is UTC +1, and do the math there to get it into your THACO time zone. We will be back then. Everybody, thank you. Good night and cheers.
No.
Bye.
Thanks a
Good
lot.
night, everybody.
Bye bye.